Chapter 453. Big Continent. Luo Feng stood within the universe ship, gazing at the distant universe space at the boundless floating continent, his eyes wide open. Planets, stars, nebulae, etc., all sorts of celestial bodies, drifting in the universe. He had seen too many of them. Even if he occasionally saw some universe shipwreckage, or even a living space beast, Luo Feng wouldn't be shocked. However, to see an incomparably vast continent in the universe, it was simply too shocking. This wasn't the virtual universe. This was reality. How big is this? Luo Feng was speechless. This floating continent in space had stars and planets beside it. They were practically sesame seeds. Even the universe ship continued to fly closer. After flying for a while, it still felt like the continent was so far away. It's tens of millions of times bigger than any planet I've ever seen. It's too big. Luo Feng held his breath. Your Majesty, how's the company's headquarters? The skinny old man beside smiled. Luo Feng asked curiously, how big is the headquarters? How big? The skinny old man shook his head. If we don't use universe travel to enter the dark universe, to use a universe ship to fly from one side of the headquarters to the other, it would take at least a few decades. You mean? Luo Feng was shocked. Its diameter is about 10 light years. A light year was a little more than 9 trillion kilometers. Earth's diameter was only about 10,000 kilometers. No wonder some of the stars and planets in the distance felt like sesame seeds. This continent floating in space was really ridiculously huge. The silver-haired skinny old man nodded. Such a huge continent. Where did it come from? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, how can such a huge continent form naturally in the universe? Even though the universe was mysterious, with many magical places, the birth of a continent with a diameter of 10 light years was still unbelievable. Not sure. The skinny old man shook his head. Luo Feng didn't ask anymore. Even though he could see the vast continent in the distant space, the F-grade universe ship that was flying at light speed still took about 13 hours to reach one of the entrances to the virtual universe company's headquarters. During the flight, Luo Feng only felt that the entire continent's construction was beautiful and dreamy. It seemed like a natural beauty of the universe. However, as the ship entered the continent, Luo Feng could still feel the advanced technology behind it. Your Majesty, the stars, planets, meteorites, and other celestial bodies around the headquarters continent are actually terrifying technological weapons. Within the luxurious hall of the ship, the skinny old man introduced. Oh, Luo Feng nodded. With the company's methods, those stars and planets are indeed like toys for them to play with. Even undying realm experts could play with stars. With the unbelievable technology of the virtual universe company, those modified stars and planets that even a sector lord knew were weapons, they were probably just decorations, the true defensive trump card of the virtual universe company. How could it be so simple? Who? The spaceship flew at sublight speed for a few minutes before finally slowing down and coming to a stop. Luo Feng, along with Sector Lord Shawu and the others, flew out of the cabin door. There were about 10 uniformed men and women waiting outside. When Luo Feng arrived, the leader of the group was a silver-armored green hornman. He said respectfully, Your Majesty Luo Feng, the knight has ordered us to wait here. Please follow me. Luo Feng nodded. Shawu, thanks. Luo Feng turned to look at the skinny old man. Realm Lord Shawu smiled. It is my honor to be able to accompany your highness for 3 years. Then, the two of them parted ways. Luo Feng, the silver-armored green hornman, and the others walked along this dreamy pathway. The second half of the pathway was transparent. One could see the beautiful starry sky outside and the surrounding mountains. Your Majesty Luo Feng, Your Majesty Luo Feng. There were already 3 people waiting in the pathway. Luo Feng looked curiously at them. Your Majesty, these are the items you bought. According to Your Majesty's request, you can exchange them here at the headquarters. The 3 immediately handed over the items. As Luo Feng had been traveling in the dark universe for 3 years, plus these 3 years were spent training in the virtual universe. Hence when he spent his points to exchange for the gold shadow blade, absolute space shield, life fruit, and swelling water fruit. He didn't ask for the goods to be delivered immediately. Anyway, the cloud contact vine still had food in reserve. He decided to deliver them at the headquarters. Of course, techniques like the illusionary techniques, he naturally learned them in the virtual universe. Thanks. Luo Feng opened it and immediately kept it in his space ring. After a while, Luo Feng was brought into an oval-shaped large hall. The entire hall and its surroundings were transparent. Raising his head, he could see the endless, starry sky. From afar, he could see the beautiful scenery of the headquarters. He could also see universe ships and even undyings flying past like shooting stars. Luo Feng. Madman, you're here. Haha, madman. The moment Luo Feng entered, he was immediately welcomed by many. Long Yun, Wuka, Jiang Mo. Luo Feng smiled and greeted them one by one. Training hard in Yuxiang Mountain for 3 years, he and his batch of youths naturally interacted with each other. In these 3 years, other than a few who were extremely lonely, most of them became friends. At least they could chat and laugh. Maybe many of them were proud and aloof in the past, but that was because they were too lonely and had never met an exceptional opponent of the same level. And to be able to enter the top 1,000 of the genius battle, they at least acknowledged each other's strength. Making friends was normal. Rong Jun isn't here yet. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. He's almost here. He's about to enter the headquarters. The manky youth Wuka smiled casually. Come sit here. Since they were all in the absolute beginning region, the 8 of them were very close. Looking at where everyone was sitting in the large hall, one could tell the 1,000 had naturally formed their own circles. Bolin. Luo Feng looked at the white-clothed youth beside the window and smiled as he shouted. The white-clothed youth turned and glanced. He only responded and then turned his head to look at the scenery outside silently. Over the past 3 years in Yuxiang Mountain, Death God Bolin had always been a loner. He only had some contact with a few dozen people, but he rarely spoke. However, after interacting with him, Luo Feng and the others realized that even though Bolin was very cold and lonely, he was still a good person. Those few from the absolute beginning region are quite arrogant, always sticking to Bolin, as though they think they're much stronger than us. Right, back when we rushed into the top 100, the virtual universe system directly picked 20 of us to fight for the top 10. They didn't even give us a chance. And it's been 3 years. These 3 years, our heaven and earth region has all improved. Some of them are shocking. I'm afraid many of them are stronger than the absolute beginning region. Let's wait. Anyways, there's still a chance to compete. On the other side, 10 youths used genetic energy to block their voices and chatted. Unconvinced. Back when the virtual universe system first directly chose people for ranking, many geniuses were unconvinced. What's more, in these 3 years, they all improved quite a bit, especially those that didn't have good techniques before. These 3 years, they exchanged for techniques that suited them. Their improvements were huge. They were even more confident. After more than 6 hours, all 1,000 people had gathered. Everybody, please follow me. When the 1,000 people gathered, a tall, skinny, red-eyed man shrouded in an elegant white robe spoke in a hoarse voice. The aura that faintly spread out made the hearts of the 1,000 young people palpitate. They felt as if ordinary people had encountered an extremely terrifying poisonous snake. After the tall, skinny, red-eyed man left the hall, he directly spread out a vigorous and irresistible force that enveloped the 1,000 young people present. So, he immediately became a beam of light and flew for a few minutes, arriving at a peculiar ship parked on the grass patch. Only then did he release the 1,000 youths. Only then did Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. That irresistible coldness from before indeed made one's heart tremble. The other geniuses around felt the same. Everybody, into the ship. The tall and skinny red-eyed man said coldly. Luo Feng looked up and saw a peculiar ship ahead. This is a ship? Luo Feng was shocked. This ship before him was simply too peculiar, because it was a huge fish. The dark blue fish was incomparably huge. Its tail was still waving slightly. The entire thing was a fish that was close to 1,000 m long. However, this huge fish had a cabin door that opened from the belly of the ship. Through it, one could see the corridors within. Dumbfounded, of the 1,000 geniuses, other than a few that seemed to know about this ship, the rest were all confused. Under the urging of the tall and skinny red-eyed man, they all entered through the cabin door. The inside looks like any other ship. Why does it look like a fish on the outside? Luo Feng and his group walked through the corridors within the ship. F-grade universe ships are all made of pure, natural metal. The ones that brought us 1,000 are all F-grade ships. Now that we're heading to the primal universe, this ship should at least be F-grade. Pure metal, it should be extremely sturdy, just like a real fish. It was unbelievable. Stupid. You don't even understand this. This is a ship that's fused with other life forms. Babata's voice resounded. And it's a very high-level life form. It's at least an undying level. Like metal life forms, plant life forms, and some special races, they can fuse with the ship. This ship is much better than your teacher's Yin Mo planet ship. If I'm not wrong, it should be beyond the F-grade, a G-grade universe ship. To be able to own such a ship in the vast universe would be considered an absolute being standing at the pinnacle. A ship fused with an undying level life form. Luo Feng hadn't even reacted. He had already followed the group into the ship's hall. Within the hall, a formless pressure caused the 1,000 geniuses to not dare make a sound. Even the other 10 undyings within the ship, including the tall and skinny red-eyed man, all bowed. Luo Feng glanced at the green-armored, purple-scaled man standing right at the front. Even though he stood there, he had a feeling of emptiness. It made one feel as though he was a virtual projection and not a real person. The purple-scaled man looked at the group of youths and said, "Let's go to the primal universe." Rumble, this huge fish-like universe ship waved its tail and immediately vanished from where it stood. P.S. That's the first chapter. I want some recommendation tickets. Are there any more tickets for today? Chapter 454. Within a large hall, the 1,000 geniuses didn't dare make a sound. Against an undying, it was a pure pressure, almost like a mountain pressing down on you. And against this purple-scaled man, even though they could see him with their naked eyes, it felt like he wasn't even there. It was completely different. This purple-scaled man didn't even intentionally release his pressure. It was purely a natural aura that made everyone feel like they had to look up to him. That was an instinctive subservience. Stop! A thunderous roar came from outside, entering the universe ship and resounding throughout the ship. Hearing the pressure within the voice, all the geniuses couldn't help but feel fear. This made the group of geniuses feel helpless. They were a group of star levels. Only a few of them had just broken through to the universe level. Against these powerful beings, if they didn't restrain themselves, just one look would cause their souls to scatter. Geniuses were ultimately just geniuses and not true warriors. The path had just begun. "It's me. Open the universe path." The purple-scaled man said indifferently. His voice pierced through the universe ship and resounded outside. Rumble. A low rumble resounded from outside, and the ship continued forward. This feeling is unbearable. Not right. The 1,000 geniuses were all pale. Luo Feng, too, felt his headache. He tried hard to open his eyes, yet he couldn't see his surroundings clearly. Right now, we're in the pathway between the primal universe and the actual universe. The purple-scaled man looked at the pale youths who were all on the ground. The time flow in the primal universe and actual universe is different. Hence, the time flow within the pathway is messed up. This will make you feel uncomfortable. The 1,000 youths, only about 300 of them could barely stand. "I can't see clearly." Luo Feng bit his eyes and squinted. Wow, Luo Feng, the universe pathway, it's a legendary place. Messing up the time flow is actually like this. Even a living AI like me finds it weird. Haha, it's too mystical, simply too mystical. Babata was incomparably excited. This kind of opportunity is very rare. After about 5 to 6 minutes, the feeling of discomfort disappeared. Only then did Luo Feng regain consciousness. Luo Feng scanned his surroundings. He realized there were many people lying on the ground. Many of them were pale, tears flowing out. After which they all climbed back up. Even the tears that had evaporated returned to normal. Right now, we've already entered the primal universe. The purple-scaled man smiled. Primal universe? We've already reached the primal universe. The geniuses from the many universe countries were all filled with curiosity. Even the 10 undyings that followed, the purple-scaled nine-blade knight, were all filled with anticipation, occasionally looking upwards. Open the top, the purple-scale man said. Chi-chi, the metal ceiling above the hall automatically split open, revealing a transparent glass-like outermost layer. Suddenly, the ceiling of the hall became transparent, and everyone could see the outside world through the transparent layer. Luo Feng looked up too. With a glance he could see that it was dark outside, with the occasional chaotic energy flow. In the distance, he could faintly see the heaven and earth splitting apart from time to time. He could even see a large number of strange and mysterious patterns flowing at the edge of the cracked space. Threads of silk were intertwined, and the mysterious patterns on the silk threads were floating. It was like a loom, weaving the heaven and earth bigger and bigger. This is... Luo Feng felt the distant space split open. There were crystal threads flowing with peculiar engravings. And the 10 undying existences all raised their heads and stared, sometimes closing their eyes to think, sometimes carefully observing. The flying shuttle continued to fly. He often saw some universe space fissures and those strange lines and mysterious runes. Stars and planets have lifespans. This universe, too, has a lifespan. Only it's extremely long. The purple-scaled man smiled. This primal universe is a new universe that is in the beginning of a universe. During this period, the universe is constantly being perfected and formed, and the universe origin laws will be revealed. Those universe space fissures are constantly being repaired, and that's because of the universe origin laws. Within them are the various origin laws. Luo Feng and the 1,000 others were all dumbstruck as they listened. Those crystal threads that were repairing the universe space, the large amounts of engravings floating on them, were all the origin laws of the universe. The universe we live in is incomparably vast, huge, and perfect. The purple-scaled man said, "It's because it's perfect, hence it's impossible to reveal the origin laws. Wanting to comprehend it is extremely difficult. And in the primal universe, you can see it with your naked eye, and you can also see how the origin laws merge perfectly with each other, how the universe is formed, how the laws work. Everything can be seen directly, hence comprehending it is much easier. The slots to study the primal universe are incomparably precious," the purple-scaled man said, glancing at the 10 undyings. The 10 undyings all looked up, obviously treasuring every bit of time. "Close," the purple-scaled man said. The roof immediately closed. Actually, looking at the threads of engravings floating in the space fissures, Luo Feng understood that the external simulation was unable to simulate it. That was because the engravings not only required one's eyes to see, but also to feel. Just relying on technology to simulate it wouldn't be possible. If it was possible, then there wouldn't be a need to enter the primal universe one by one. We'll be reaching Primal Chaos City in a while. The purple-scaled man said, "Primal Chaos City is the place where those who enter the primal universe live and train. You're all brought here by me. I hope to see you all alive in 30 years. We'll die. Is there danger?" Luo Feng and the others were suspicious. Remember, after entering Primal Chaos City, listen to the messenger, listen to the rules. We've arrived. The purple-scaled man finished, and the universe ship began to descend. This huge fish traversed through the vast universe space. The moment the roof closed, the huge fish flew above an ancient city. The fish's belly door opened, and the 1,000 geniuses flew out, after which the door closed, The huge fish flicked its tail and immediately disappeared into the distance. This primal universe feels so special. It feels so comfortable. Right? It's extremely comfortable. The group of youths stood in mid-air. Luo Feng looked down at the ancient, majestic city below. As a city built in the primal universe, it gave off a heavy feeling. In the distance, a black light flew over. Attention all! I'm a messenger of Primal Chaos City. A low voice resounded. A black-robed man with a head covered in green scales flew over, after which he stopped and smiled. This city is called Primal Chaos City. It's existed even longer than most of your universe countries. Right now, it's managed by the Virtual Universe Company, Battle Axe Dojo, Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank, and the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Silence. The 1,000 youths all looked at this messenger of Primal Chaos City. Follow me. The messenger smiled and flew down. The 1,000 flew down from the sky and landed on the streets of Primal Chaos City. The streets were enough for 10 people to walk side by side. Primal Chaos City has existed for a long time. The messenger walked to the front, explaining as he walked. Coming to Primal Chaos City to train has already birthed many absolute beings. Luo Feng looked around. Within Primal Chaos City were many little buildings. Many of the balconies had humans with different appearances sitting cross-legged. Some of them were carving something on the balconies. The powerful auras were much stronger than Sector Lords. Some of them were mumbling something. Luo Feng looked up at the sky. In the sky, near the furthest universe space crevice, one could vaguely see many beings standing in midair. Occasionally, these beings would look down at Luo Feng's group. Another group of punks has arrived. It's the 11th messenger. Those are the punks from the Virtual Universe Company. I heard that this time the Virtual Universe Company has recruited a youth called Bolin. He's not bad. At the edge of the space crevice, a few powerful beings stood and chatted. Luo Feng and his group of punks were all very low profile. They could feel that there were many Undyings here. And the Undyings were still very reserved, not daring to release their auras. However, the entire Primal Chaos City had 10 powerful auras rushing into the sky. Even Luo Feng and his group could clearly feel them. Almost like 10 absolute, ferocious beasts, occupying different areas of Primal Chaos City. In Primal Chaos City, there are many absolute beings. The messenger turned and said, "Do not ever disturb them from studying the origin laws. The moment you disturb them, we can only send you out of the primal universe, ending your chance to study." The group nodded. After receiving the envoy, he went straight into an unoccupied small building. There are many little buildings in Primal Chaos City. If the doors are pale white, it means there's no owner here. The messenger pointed at the door. As long as you place your hand on the door for a moment, the door's sensory system will automatically activate, causing the door to turn dark gray. You will automatically become the owner of the building, and the information will be automatically recorded. Everyone can only choose one place. Following which, he led the messenger to the balcony. The balcony was huge, with a length and width of close to 100 m, enough for 1,000 people to stand. Luo Feng saw many engravings on the balcony's floor. Many of them were mysterious. Luo Feng looked carefully, immersed within. Many youths were immersed within. Space origin laws. This contains the space origin laws. Many youths shouted, "Attention all!" The messenger's voice resounded within everyone's mind. Everyone's souls jolted awake. Primal Chaos City, generation after generation of countless powerful beings, sit on the balcony and study. During the process, they would carve. Hence they left behind many engravings of these powerful beings pondering on the origin laws. If you're interested in this, the majority of the buildings in Primal Chaos City are currently unoccupied. You can go from building to study. Who knows? Some of them might even be left behind by the knights. The group of youths' eyes gleamed. First, I have to tell you a very important rule. The messenger emphasized, in the primal universe, humans are forbidden from killing each other. Whoever makes a move will die without a doubt. No matter who it is, even if he's a universe country leader, he cannot challenge the rules of Primal Chaos City. Understood. The group of youths nodded. The primal universe and the actual universe. The time ratio is 1:3:28. The black-robed messenger smiled. Your study time this time is a little more than 30 years. End of 2 chapters, late for today. What a tragedy, including today. Tomato owes everyone 3 chapters. The main thing is that at the beginning of every chapter, Tomato has to carefully organize the details of the chapter. Hence the writing is slow. Once the layout is done, the speed will be faster. I'll also pull down the monthly votes and recommendation votes. Seeing the votes increase, Tomato will be very happy. Chapter 455. Time is precious. Don't waste it. The black-robed emissary immediately jumped down from the balcony, landing on the ground below. Immediately, the other 1,000 geniuses all jumped down, almost like a huge swarm of locusts covering the sky and land, landing on the wide street in front of the villa. Follow me to the city leader's mansion. The black-robed emissary said, that's where the city leader lives and also the core of Primal Chaos City. City leader? Luo Feng was shocked as he heard. As the only city in the Primal universe, Primal Chaos City's history was even older than many of the universe countries. Such an ancient city leader. His position was obvious. To be able to hold this position, his power definitely wouldn't be any weaker than those universe country leaders. Rumble. In the distance, a 30-meter-tall, single-horned monster covered in crimson scales walked over. The monster seemed to take up more than half of the street, and on the back of the monster stood a young man with short violet hair. He wore dark blue battle armor and dark blue battle boots, and he carried an enormous violet warblade on his back as he looked up at the sky. The black-robed emissary bowed respectfully to show his respect. The 1,000 youths watched the beast leave. Beast taming. Primal Chaos City can even bring beasts here? The group of youths couldn't help but discuss softly. The black-robed emissary smiled. That person before is an eternal, undying resident of Primal Chaos City. As an eternal resident, he has the right to bring beasts here. Eternal? I heard. For undying warriors to enter and study, even one spot is incomparably expensive. The youths were all shocked. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, how is that possible? His own teacher, who was considered a powerful warrior amongst the undying in the universe. Even he couldn't afford a spot to enter the primal universe. However, that youth before was an eternal resident? Nothing is impossible. The black-robed emissary smiled. As long as one has great contributions, or is extremely powerful, as long as one is recognized by the Alliance, one can become an eternal resident. Luo Feng thought within, Alliance? Right, this Primal Chaos City was jointly managed by the 5 great Leviathans. The so-called Alliance was probably the alliance of the 5 Leviathans. May I ask, how does one become an eternal resident? Within the crowd, the Manka Prince Wooka shouted. The conditions are extremely harsh. The black-robed emissary smiled. When you become undying, you'll know what the conditions are. Asking now is useless. The black-robed emissary led the bustling crowd of youngsters from various races through the streets. It was indeed a sight. However, Luo Feng realized that the warriors training on the balconies of the villas on both sides of the street. Only a few opened their eyes to look at them. Most of them were immersed in their training. Many of them had long beards and hair, as if they hadn't been trimmed for hundreds or thousands of years. The city lord's mansion is up ahead. The black-robed emissary pointed ahead. Luo Feng looked up. It was a majestic structure that was about 300 m tall. From afar, one could see the 3 glaring universe language words in the main residence. City leader's residence. Looking at those words, one couldn't help but be drawn in. It was almost as though those words formed a space within, a universe of its own. His entire spirit was constantly being sucked into the universe space within those words, scaring Luo Feng so much that he didn't dare lower his head to look. Everyone should only look at the 3 big words City Lore Mansion once. Don't look at it too often. The black-robed emissary laughed. This will make your mind go blank. Even undying beings don't dare stare at you for long. Oh, it's that mystical. The geniuses who hadn't noticed the 3 words earlier all looked up curiously. With one look, they all fell for it. Ha! The black-robed emissary couldn't help but laugh loudly when he saw this. Usually when dealing with absolute beings, he had to be more restrained. However, dealing with these punks was much easier. As they got closer, they walked further and further. Even though they walked quickly, it took a few minutes before they reached the entrance of the residence. With one look, they could see that the entire residence was filled with black-robed emissaries entering and exiting. Occasionally, they could see undyings and sector lords entering and exiting the residence. Primal Chaos City is the only city in the primal universe. The black-robed emissary smiled. In Primal Chaos City, there are 3 treasures. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, listening carefully. The first of the 3 treasures everyone knows. Naturally, it's the universe origin laws that can be seen with the naked eye. The black-robed emissary smiled. As for the second treasure, it's within the city, within the residence. The third treasure is outside the city. Just what treasure is it? A group of youths couldn't help but ask. The black-robed emissary pointed to the surroundings. For billions of years, there have been many experts living here. When they were cultivating, they would often have a flash of inspiration, and they would carve it on the ground in front of them. Then, they would carefully ponder over it, and if they gained something, they would carve it down. Luo Feng nodded within. Indeed, comprehending the origin laws was similar to a flash of inspiration. Suddenly comprehending something and carving it down, the pictures were much more vivid than words. Just like some people, after writing a line of words on a piece of paper, even after a few years, looking at the words, they would still be able to recall what they were thinking when they first wrote it. And if it was printed on a computer, looking at it a few years later, it would be hard to remember what they wrote it for. Personally, drawing a picture was an extremely good way to comprehend. Primal Chaos City, over countless years, has formed such a tradition. The black-robed emissary exclaimed. As it's purely a casual recording, there are no rules. Many of the carvings are just bits and pieces, hence most of them can only be used for reference. However, over 1 trillion years, amongst the countless carvings, there are still a few that have very strong and systematic training value. The black-robed emissary said solemnly, "In my Primal Chaos City, there are the most precious 52 Primal Chaos tablets. Each tablet has large amounts of mysterious diagrams, etc. These 52 Primal Chaos tablets are 52 different types of cultivation Daos that lead directly to the pinnacle. If one comprehends a tablet, then one will immediately become a true absolute being in the universe. Even if you want to open a universe country, it would be a simple matter." Luo Feng couldn't help but hold his breath. The surrounding savage Rongjun, the Menka youth, over 1,000 youths were all excited. 52 Primal Chaos tablets, containing the path to the pinnacle. Comprehending one could open a universe country? These 52 Primal Chaos tablets are the second treasure of our Primal Chaos City. The black-robed emissary smiled. As for the third treasure, it's just outside Primal Chaos City. The stone tablet at the entrance has a detailed description. You'll know when you go take a look. The group of people were filled with anticipation. The first and second treasures were very beneficial to everyone. The third treasure wouldn't be too far off. 52 Primal Chaos tablets. The black-robed emissary said, "Every warrior that enters the primal universe has 1 chance to study it. Everyone has 7 days." 7 days? The group of people stared. That short? The Primal Chaos tablet is humanity's treasure. More than any technique, it clearly conveys the path to the pinnacle. 7 days of study is enough for you. The black-robed emissary headed towards the entrance of the city leader's residence. Enter and prepare to study the tablet. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The space of the city leader's residence was huge. Even the balcony of the normal training quarters was 100 m long and wide. One could only imagine how huge the residence was. Everyone can only choose one tablet to study. The black-robed emissary led Luo Feng and the others. Very quickly, they arrived at a dreamy hallway. The walls on both sides of the hallway were hung with huge pictures. Luo Feng knew, with a glance, that there were a total of 52 pictures. There are 52 rubbing pictures on the walls. Every picture corresponds to a primal chaos tablet. Look at these pictures first. Even though they can't transmit the energy of the tablet, they can still let you feel a little. Look at these 52 pictures and decide which tablet to choose. The black-robed emissary said. The group of youths looked at the pictures on both sides of the hallway. They were dumbfounded. So it was to choose the tablet based on the pictures. Every picture was a standard 10 long and 10 wide. There were even names beside the pictures. I'll give you half an hour. The black-robed emissary stood at the outermost part of the hallway. Luo Feng and the group could only begin to look. Luo Feng randomly chose a picture and began to look. This first picture was of an ancient sky-reaching tree. Its leaves were already withered and yellow. Countless leaves were falling. This picture had withered leaves floating in mid-air. With Luo Feng's consciousness calculation, he could instantly deduce that there were definitely over 10,000 leaves. On the picture, withered leaves after withered leaves. The tree branches had leaves attached to them. The ground was filled with fallen leaves. Watching and watching, Luo Feng felt that the yellow leaves floating in mid-air were like soldiers, forming an army formation. That incomparably complicated army formation, 100 leaves forming a complicated little formation, adding another leaf. 101 leaves made the formation even more miraculous. 1 minute is up. Babata's voice awoke within Luo Feng's mind. Luo Feng, you only have half an hour to look at all the pictures. Every picture can't exceed 1 minute. Understood. Luo Feng awoke and looked at the name on the picture. Ancestor Mother Primal Chaos Tablet. This made Luo Feng crease his eyebrows. Ancestor Mother? What does it have to do with the Ancestor Mother planet? He didn't dare think too much. After all, he had a total of 52 pictures to look at. Luo Feng went to look at the other pictures. After all, he had to find a most suitable Primal Chaos Tablet in a short half an hour. After all, the most suitable one for himself. Only then would his training efficiency be higher. As for the Ancestor Mother Primal Chaos Tablet, Luo Feng felt a headache just looking at it. 101 leaves compared to 100 leaves, the formation could be changed by 100 times. Those tens of thousands of leaves, it was unimaginable to what level they would evolve to. Picture after picture, there was silence. The 1,000 geniuses were all like starving wolves. Their eyes gleamed as they stared at the pictures. Before, everyone was still unhappy about choosing the Primal Chaos Tablet. However, after looking, they were all mesmerized. Luckily, everyone had their quantum computers to remind them. Otherwise, they would only be able to look at one picture in half an hour. Luo Feng stared at the large picture before him. On the picture, there were many blade scars. Every scar gave off a different feeling. The entire picture had a total of 10,081 scars. The corresponding Primal Chaos Tablet was called the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet. All right, half an hour is up. Tell me which Primal Chaos Tablet you chose. I'll record it down. The black-robed man shouted. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 456. I choose the Dragon Form Primal Chaos Tablet. I choose the Wind Shadow Primal Chaos Tablet. The black-robed messenger walked from the outermost area of the walkway, simultaneously asking the choices of every genius. Behind him, Luo Feng frowned, his gaze sweeping past the 52 pictures. Honestly, out of these 52 pictures, there were 38 that he could easily get addicted to, including the Ancestor Mother Primal Chaos Tablet. Even though the tablet made him addicted, it was after all a complicated path of evolution. Most suitable for me? Luo Feng looked at the distant picture on his left before looking at the picture on his right. In the distance was his favorite 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet, and beside him was the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet. When Luo Feng looked at the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet, his entire being was filled with excitement. He felt that the 9-universe primal chaos tablet was extremely suitable for the Nan-Shun armament to unleash. Slightly changing it would allow him to comprehend close combat techniques. And the Scarred Heart primal chaos tablet, when Luo Feng looked at it, he could faintly see sets and sets of blade techniques appearing within his mind. Those 10081 blade scars could be said to be the pinnacle of blade techniques. So which do I choose? Luo Feng frowned. They all wanted to train, of which the 9-universe primal chaos tablet was more suitable for the Nan-Shun armament, while the Scarred Heart primal chaos tablet was more suitable for blade techniques. Of course, his current strength was still very weak. He could only see the surface of these two incomparably profound primal chaos tablets. One had to know that the 52 primal chaos tablets were all paths to the pinnacle. Logically speaking, every primal chaos tablet could comprehend close combat and long-range attacks. He's here. Luo Feng turned to look. The Black Robe Messenger had already recorded over 700 people. He had already walked to Luo Feng's side, looking up at him. Which one do you choose? The Black Robe Messenger asked. I choose the 9-universe primal chaos tablet. Luo Feng said seriously. The Black Robe Messenger nodded. The screen on his arm immediately recorded it, after which he looked at another person beside him. Even though the Scarred Heart primal chaos tablet and the 9-universe tablet are both my favorites, and my close combat abilities are improving quickly, my strongest point is undoubtedly my long-range attacks. Right now, my close combat has improved is only because the Masha clansman is training the illusionary techniques. A true warrior doesn't need to be strong in every aspect. If they're strong in every aspect, it means they aren't that strong. Enhance the advantage, constantly strengthening his advantages, turning them into absolute advantages. This was what it meant to be an expert. Furthermore, the Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet only begins with the Metal Origin Grandao. The 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet, on the other hand, start from the fundamental laws of space. Of the many origin laws, time and space were undoubtedly the strongest. If he had to choose, he would choose the stronger one. The black-robed messenger walked to the end of the corridor. After he finished recording, he turned around and said with a smile, I have already sent out your choices. Come with me. Luo Feng and the other 1,000 followed the black-robed emissary and left the corridor. After a while, they arrived at a spacious training field in the city leader's mansion. The training field was extremely spacious. It was at least 10 kilometers wide. If it was a normal person on Earth, they wouldn't be able to see the end of it. Of course, Luo Feng and the others could see it clearly. On the empty training field, 1,000 people gathered together, with a black-robed messenger standing in front of them. Right now, out of the 52 secret rooms, 12 of them are occupied. The other 40 rooms are empty. The black-robed messenger looked at the group before him. Right now, I'll announce the names of these 40 Primal Chaos Tablets. Yin Mountain Primal Chaos Tablet, Scarred Heart Primal Chaos Tablet. The black-robed messenger swiftly announced the names of the 40 Primal Chaos Tablets in one breath. Those who have chosen these 40 Primal Chaos Tablets head straight to the most left entrance ahead. You will be arranged to enter each room. The black-robed messenger pointed into the distance. At the end of the training field on the left, there was an entrance close to 30 m tall. Right now, you can head over. Immediately, at least 800 of the 1,000 youths became beams of light and left. There were only 100 youths left in the training field. The 139 of you wait first. The black robe messenger said, the primal chaos tablets you have chosen are currently being studied. When others are studying, it is forbidden to open the room and disturb them. Hence, once the others are done studying, you can enter. The 139 of you will have to wait at most for 3 days. How about this? Head up to the tower of the city leader's mansion first. The black robe messenger pointed ahead. Over there, train there first. When it's your turn, I'll inform you. Luo Feng, Savage Rong Jun, and the other 139 youths could only head toward the tower. How unlucky. 52 Primal Chaos Tablets. Only 12 of them are being studied. It's actually our turn. Walking along the way, the 100 youths were helpless. Savage Rong Jun smiled at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, you and I are really brothers in the same boat. We entered the top 10 together and fell together in the battle for the top 5. Even choosing the primal chaos tablets, we met people at the same time. Luo Feng nodded and asked, what did you choose? Me? Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Savage Rong Jun said. Rong Jun, I too chose the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. The manky youth Wuka, who was talking to the others, shouted. He ran over and said softly, Luo Feng, Rong Jun, do you know who left this Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet behind? Every Primal Chaos Tablet was left behind by the pinnacle existences of humanity in the history of the universe. 52 Primal Chaos Tablets had become humanity's treasures. Ooh, Rong Jun asked. Don't tell me it has something to do with the Huge Axe Colosseum? Luo Feng thought and asked. Right. Wuka nodded and said softly. This Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet was left behind by one of the 5 great powers, the founder of the Huge Axe Colosseum. It contains unbelievable power. The moment one fully comprehends it, that's simply heaven-defying. You are the pinnacle of existence in the entire universe. The founder of the Huge Axe Colosseum? Luo Feng and Rong Jun glanced at each other. My God, the 5 great leviathans of humanity. If one wanted to rank the 5 leviathans, one could actually tell from one small thing. The entire 1,008 universe countries of humanity, every 10,000 years, there would be 2 genius battles. One was held by the Virtual Universe Company, and the other by the Huge Axe Colosseum. The most exceptional geniuses would be chosen by these 2. In the Universe First Bank, Universe Galaxy Bank, and the Universe Mercenary Alliance didn't do so. Which of these 5 leviathans was stronger? The Virtual Universe Company and the Huge Axe Colosseum naturally had the advantage. And as the founder of the Huge Axe Colosseum, his position was much higher than the 1,008 universe country leaders. Hence I chose the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Wuka said proudly, and amongst the sector lords and undyings, most of them chose the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Ha! Rong Jun laughed. Luo Feng curled his lips. Of course, the other 52 Primal Chaos Tablets aren't normal either. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the right to be placed alongside the Huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablet. Wuka consoled Luo Feng. Luo Feng, focus on studying the 9 Universe Tablet. You still have a bright future ahead of you. Saying that, Wuka clutched his stomach and laughed. You punk. Luo Feng shook his head. In the tower of the city leader's residence, Luo Feng and the over 100 others stood in the tower, gazing into the distance. It was too huge. The entire Primal Chaos City was extremely huge. As for the distant area outside the city, it was already a blurry mess. One couldn't see clearly at all. The main thing was the entire Primal Chaos universe had large amounts of chaos energy. These energy currents made one unable to see too far. How comfortable! This primal universe is much more comfortable than the actual universe. The group of youths discussed. Luo Feng too felt that coming to the primal universe, his entire body was incomparably comfortable from the inside out, from his mind to his body. This is because of the primal universe. In the distance, a middle-aged man dressed in a loose purple-gold long robe walked over. You are the new batch of winners from the Virtual Universe Company's Genius Competition. Luo Feng and the rest of the 139 nodded. The reason why you all feel so comfortable is because of this. The middle-aged man pointed at the chaos energy that floated past. This has been named the chaos energy by us. It's different from the various universe energies in the actual universe. It's different from the mixed universe energies too. The chaos energy is a special energy that nurtures the living beings. You all will definitely feel comfortable surrounded by the chaos energy. The middle-aged man smiled. Luo Feng and the rest understood. However, this energy is only present in the primal universe. The purple gold long-robed middle-aged man shook his head. Even if we bring this energy back to the actual universe, it would immediately break down into other energies. When Luo Feng and the group of youths were discussing with this warrior on the tower, suddenly, rumble. In the distance, there was an intense ripple in the primal chaos land. The sound caused the land and skies to tremble. Ways. A raging roar resounded throughout the sky of primal chaos city. A terrifying thunder energy immediately pierced through 10 million li, causing all the warriors in the balconies within the city to open their eyes and look into the distance. Luo Feng and the rest, who were suppressed by the powerful energy until their faces were pale white, stood shocked on the tower, gazing into the distance. In the distance, an incomparably tall and sturdy bull man dressed in bronze armor, almost like a god of the land and skies, wielding a huge axe that was comparable to his own body. He waved the bloody huge axe straight at an absolute being that was fleeing with his entire body covered in thunder. That thunder energy was emitted from that absolute being as he was fleeing. Silence. Luo Feng and the rest were completely stunned by the two absolute beings' energy in the distance. They actually dare to fight in primal chaos city? The purple gold long-robed middle-aged man looked into the distance, shocked. Ways, why is this bull man so stupid? P.S. 2 chapters completed. Canvassing for votes. Recommendation tickets are available daily. Chapter 457. Wazer just entered Primal Chaos City. It's only been a few days, and he's already making a move against Leibois. Making a move in Primal Chaos City. Isn't that courting death? Shrouded in primal chaos energy, one couldn't see the end of the Primal Chaos City. Within the city, many of the universe warriors on the balconies all opened their eyes and looked at the distant two in the sky. The one being chased, his entire body wrapped in lightning, had purposely caused it to pierce through the entire sky above Primal Chaos City. How? The tall and sturdy barbaric bull man, his eyes bloodshot, raging as he waved his shockingly huge axe, his opponent simultaneously raised the lightning spear in his hands as he fled. The surrounding space shattered. Chaotic energy flowed about. In the tower of the city leader's residence, Luo Feng and the group of punks were all pale. They were like a group of ants, and the distant two were like two ancient gods. These two, Luo Feng held his breath, watching the distant space shatter, his eyes wide open. They're simply too strong. Undyings, they're actually this terrifying. The undyings he had seen before were mostly seen in the virtual universe. The undyings he met in reality were all restrained. This was the first time he had seen an undying truly angry. This anger with just a wave of his hand. Even the universe space would shatter. Space shattering with energy? Luo Feng looked up at the surging lightning snakes in the sky. Lightning piercing through 10 million li. To be able to destroy a planet with a flip of one's hand, this was undying. Luo Feng finally understood. Rumble. Within the entire primal chaos universe, an angry roar resounded. In an instant, the entire sky and land went dark. Luo Feng was shocked to discover the space cracks in the sky that were occasionally breaking and mending. The revolving universe origin laws suddenly stopped. Even the chaos energy flow stopped. In the distance, the two super experts also stopped moving. Rumble. Above them, an enormous palm that was completely formed from the aura of primal chaos appeared. It was like a mountain. This chaos energy palm fiercely slammed down, almost like the sky was pressing down. Chi! Chi! Under the terrified gazes of the two undyings, Wazer and Leibois, these two powerful undyings from the 1008 universe countries who were rather famous, and powerful undyings instantly exploded into dust, just like smashing tofu. The warriors within Primal Chaos City all watched with their eyes wide open. The two of them were turned into dust, and their souls were also turned into dust. Chi-chi, chi-chi, in the distant space, the powder suddenly gathered together and condensed into two human figures. One was the bull-headed giant, and the other was the skinny man surrounded by lightning. Their faces were pale, and the skinny man shouted, "City Lord, he wanted to kill me. He wanted to kill me. I was wronged. I only hate that I couldn't kill you." The Minotaur's eyes were red as he stared at the lean man and growled. "Stupid." The lean man sneered at him. "Ah." The Minotaur roared angrily. Unfortunately, with a single thought from the city lord, a palm from tens of thousands of li of primal chaos energy made it so that two powerful undyings could barely survive, but they couldn't fight at all. This kind of control over attack power was truly terrifying. Third Enforcement Squad, escort Wazir and Labwa out of the primal cosmos. Lock Wazir in the 9th Starfield prison and Labwa in the 2nd Starfield prison. A low voice with a faint metallic quality resounded throughout the entire primeval universe. Yes. A loud reply resounded in the skies above Primal Chaos City, only to see 5 blood-colored lights fly over. Facing the Enforcement Squad, the two Undyings who were already heavily injured and had no strength to resist, they didn't complain at all. Instead, they obediently followed the Enforcement Squad and left in a blood-red universe ship. Within that blood-red universe ship, Wazir, you're lucky no one died in the battle this time. If you killed someone in Primal Chaos City, you would definitely die. You would have died without a doubt. You wouldn't have ended up in the prison of the 9th Star Zone. Dressed in blood-red armor and carrying a peculiar curved blade on his back, the Undying of the Enforcement Squad shook his head. "Umph." The bull-headed giant roared, his expression savage as he stared at the distant skinny man. "I only hate that I couldn't kill Labwa. Labwa, so what if you hide in Primal Chaos City? I'll still come in and kill you." "Fool, you still couldn't kill me when you came in? This time I'll go to the 2nd prison. You'll go to the 9th Starfield prison. Haha, let's see how you die." Labwa laughed maniacally. "Die? If I don't kill you, how will I die?" The bull-headed giant seemed like he wanted to swallow his opponent whole. "You're already this injured. You won't be able to recover without 100 years, yet you're still so crazy." "Quiet down." The 5 Undyings of the Enforcement Squad shouted. Only then did the bull-headed giant and the skinny man stop. Everything happened extremely quickly. The group of youths on the tower were still stunned, while the tens of millions of warriors in Primal Chaos City were very calm. Only a few of them chatted with Wazir and Labwa. Most of them continued to train. After all, time in Primal Chaos City was too precious. For an Undying to enter, even a spot was incredibly shocking. They've already turned to dust, yet they're still alive. I can guarantee that the two of them had their souls destroyed. They can't be more dead. What do you know? These two undying existences have already cultivated to the undying body level. Every single cell of theirs has completely merged with a spiritual imprint. Even if their souls scatter and scatter, turning to dust, as long as a single cell fragment remains, they can quickly absorb energy and body fragments, quickly restoring themselves. Undying body. I've heard that even amongst the undyings, there are very few who can reach that level. Those two undyings aren't much. The city leader who made a move at the end is the terrifying one. The city leader didn't even show himself, just a thought. The entire universe space stopped working. Even the origin law engravings stopped moving. The group of geniuses discussed excitedly. Luo Feng and the group were all shocked and excited by what happened before. Especially the last time the city leader made a move. It made everyone's blood boil, because everyone could tell that the city leader didn't even show himself, and he was able to control the entire universe space around Primal Chaos City. What kind of concept was that? All of the universe laws to stop working around Primal Chaos City, to forcefully stop the universe in an instant. What kind of level was that? It was unbelievable. To be able to become the city leader of Primal Chaos City. His position is even higher than those universe country leaders. In the entire universe, he's considered the pinnacle of existence. With just a thought, he could stop the universe space around him. Luo Feng was completely shocked. The city leader made one feel as though he was the ruler of the universe. Yes, ruler. Damn, I followed your teacher for over 60 million years, and I've never seen such a powerful being. Babata's screams resounded in his mind. It's too sick. I've seen a universe country leader make a move. It's terrifying, instantly changing space and shattering a star field, countless deaths and injuries, but compared to this primal chaos city leader, he's still lacking. This primal chaos city leader is definitely the pinnacle of existence. I even feel this primal universe is his. Luo Feng nodded. Right? There was indeed a feeling of the universe being the primal chaos city leader, and the city leader being the universe itself. Primal universe. There's only this one primal chaos city. It's even older than many universe countries. The city leader is the true pinnacle of the vast universe. Luo Feng held his breath. He had the confidence to become an undying, even having the willpower to work hard to become a universe country leader. No matter what, at least he could see and feel it. A universe country leader, establishing a universe country, not falling after 1,000,000,000,000 years. It was already too high to reach. Probably the entire human race in the universe. It took 1,000,000,000,000 years for a universe country leader to be born. The difficulty was obvious. As for the even higher primal chaos city leader, it made Luo Feng feel like he was looking at the sky when he was young. He was immortal. The primal chaos city leader was the heavens. This feeling of insignificance made one wonder, was that a level a human could reach? Universe country leaders, they've roamed the universe for 1,000,000,000,000 years. They're all unbelievable beings. In the area your teacher lived in, I've never heard of a new universe country leader being born. Stronger than a universe country leader? My God. Babata was completely in a state of madness. Within the ancient primal chaos city, Luo Feng and the group of youths were on the watchtower, looking at the space cracks in the sky. Within the cracks, there were many crystal threads with engravings floating and intertwining. As they watched, they could feel the peculiar ripples of the origin laws mixed within. Luo Feng and the group of over 100 were all immersed within. They had all stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. Hence, naturally, they were easily immersed within. If it was a fighter or spirit reader that hadn't even stepped through the gateway, they could only watch dumbfoundedly. They were all stimulated. Over 100 of them. All of them were heaven's pride, absolute geniuses from any universe country. However, no matter how absolute a genius, there was a batch every 5,000 years. How many geniuses would there be in 1,000,000,000,000 years? However, ever since the primal universe had humans as a race, in the vast river of time, how many primal chaos city leaders had there been? They were all stimulated. These heaven's pride, all of them were pent up within. Even if they couldn't become a primal chaos city leader, they could at least become a universe country leader. However, logic told them, even the most genius Bolin, the chances of him becoming a universe country leader was only 1 in 10 million, much less them. Weite, Luo Feng, the 12 of you follow me to the 9 universe tablet training room. The black-robed messenger came to the castle and reported the 12 names. Standing there with his eyes closed, Luo Feng was only awoken from his training after being reminded by the living AI Babata, after which he followed the other 11 geniuses that had chosen the 9 universe tablet, following the black-robed messenger towards the training room. P.S. First chapter, I'm at Guang Shinan Ning. The update time isn't stable. However, there will be chapters every day. Work hard, work hard. Chapter 458. The city leader's mansion was vast and vast, with many structures within, taking up an area of 1,000 kilometers. The black-robed emissary brought Luo Feng and the other 12 through a corridor that was about 60 m wide and 120 m tall. On the 2 sides of the corridor, there were actually huge bronze doors. Each of the bronze doors was about 160 m long and 120 m tall. Each of the bronze doors had ancient writing on them. Mother Ancestor, huge axe, dragon travel. In front of each bronze gate stood a benevolent-looking old man. The strange thing was, every old man in front of the huge bronze doors looked exactly the same. There are a total of 52 doors here. They're the 52 primal chaos tablet rooms. The black-robed messenger smiled. Ahead is the 9 universe tablet room door. we've arrived. Luo Feng looked at the huge bronze doors before him. The ancient bronze doors that had existed for over 100 million years had two universe language words engraved on them. Reaching a height of 120 m, it made one involuntarily look up. Beside the bronze doors stood an old man with a vertical eye on his forehead. He looked exactly the same as the other old men in front of the doors. Lord Candeli. The black-robed messenger bowed. The three-eyed old man smiled as he looked at Luo Feng and the others. A new batch of punk from the Virtual Universe Company? Yes. The black-robed messenger was incomparably respectful, after which he turned to look at Luo Feng and the others. This is Lord Candeli, the guardian of the Primal Chaos Tablet Rooms. These 52 Primal Chaos Tablets in front of the doors are all one of Lord Candeli's clones. Lord Candeli has been guarding these 52 rooms for over 1 million eras. He's a respected warrior of our Primal Chaos City. Huh. The group of youths looked shocked at the seemingly normal-looking three-eyed old man. The one guarding the 52 rooms was actually the same person's clones. As one of the 3 Primal Chaos treasures, the importance of the 52 Primal Chaos tablets was obvious. For one person to create 52 clones to guard them, just how strong was this person? And he had actually guarded them for over 1 million eras. The UNMO planet master, Hu Yin Bo, had only lived for over 6,000 eras. Lord Candeli, Luo Feng, and the others bowed respectfully. Hee, they're really young. Seeing you all is like seeing humanity's hope. Candeli smiled and nodded. Wait a moment, the group of people inside will be coming out soon. Yes. Luo Feng and the others obediently listened. What a monster! Primal Chaos City is indeed the training holy land of the human race. The strong are as common as the clouds, and the monsters are hidden. To think that I would meet an old monster that has guarded the training room for millions of years. Babata exclaimed, Your teacher is stronger than you, and has lived longer than you, but he hasn't seen as many experts as you. Our circle is different, so the people we meet are different. The UNMO Planet Master was after all a Lone Ranger. To meet a universe country leader was rare, even though Luo Feng was weak. After entering the core of the Virtual Universe Company, he had the chance to interact with the pinnacle of humanity's unbelievable beings. Lord Kandri, Lord Kandri, a shout rang out. Shwa, an 8-man youth with a golden circlet on his head and boots on his feet, his entire body emitting an intrepid aura, immediately appeared before the bronze door, bowing respectfully towards Candeli, after which he looked at Luo Feng and the others, smiling widely. Lord Candeli, looks like I've come at the right time. I can enter with them to study. If I was a step slower, I'd have to wait another 7 days. Ah, you've broken through? Candeli smiled as he looked at the 8-man youth. I've successfully passed the 6th level. I've gained another 7 days of study. The 8-man youth said. Candeli closed his eyes for a few seconds, after which he opened them and nodded. You've indeed gained another 7 days of study. New? Luo Feng thought within the crowd. The first time I enter Primal Chaos City, I've gained 7 days of study. From the looks of it, it seems like I've fulfilled some requirements, passed some tests. I can gain another chance to study. How to gain another chance to study the tablet. Luo Feng and the others still didn't understand. However, they believed they would understand soon. After all, they had to stay in Primal Chaos City for 30 years. Quietly waiting. After about 5 to 6 minutes, rumble, the entire bronze door began to open. The training room within was filled with chaos energy, making it impossible to see clearly within. All of you come out. Candeli looked within, roaring softly. His voice was transmitted into the secret training room and reverberated continuously. Very quickly, numerous figures swiftly flew out from the primal chaos airflow. Many of them were clutching their heads. There was a tall and burly young man with 6 eyes on his forehead. He looked back unwillingly, but in the end, he could only choose to leave. The 13 of you, going now. Candeli looked at the group before him. After 7 days, the door will open. Immediately come out. Understand? Understood. The group nodded. Candeli nodded. Go in. The group of people all carried a sense of nervousness, immediately entering. The training room was huge. Chaos energy revolved within. Luo Feng carefully looked within. He could faintly see the chaos energy revolving around a huge stone tablet. That's the Nine-Universe tablet? Luo Feng was filled with anticipation and nervousness. The other 11 youths were all like that. Only that ape youth very familiarly entered the depths of the room and immediately began to study. Only when he got close to the tablet did he see it clearly. This was a 100-meter tall and nearly 100-meter wide primal chaos tablet. On it were 9 pictures, and on the edge of the primal chaos tablet were universe language words. 9 universe. Each picture was exactly the same as the 9 universe primal chaos tablet he had seen on the murals in the corridors, but the feeling was clearly different. The entire 9 universe tablet had 9 pictures. He had seen them before, hence he knew. The first picture was a few scattered raindrops. Carefully counting, there was a total of 9 raindrops. The second painting was the drizzle painting. Counting carefully, there were a total of 36 raindrops on the drizzle painting. The third picture was a rainstorm picture. Large amounts of raindrops clustered together. Carefully counting, there was a total of 108 raindrops. The fourth picture was a star picture. A planet had 4 moons orbiting it. The fifth picture was a star system. A star had 12 planets orbiting it. Every planet had more or less moons. The sixth picture was a galaxy densely packed with countless planets forming the vast galaxy. Even when Luo Feng was looking at the pictures earlier, he had Babata carefully count. However, he couldn't even count the number of planets, because in some places, it seemed like there were many planets. However, he couldn't count them. The seventh picture seemed to be a peculiar beast. The eighth picture was of 2 incomparably peculiar beasts. The ninth picture was of countless peculiar beasts. It was impossible to count. If the first to 6 pictures Luo Feng could still vaguely understand, he could feel that the first 6 pictures of the 9 universe tablet were all describing the highest origin laws. Then the last 7th and 9th pictures were simply too abstract. Luo Feng felt that it was purely a picture of a peculiar beast. How could it contain any origin laws? It was too abstract. However, the 52 primal chaos tablets were the treasures of the human race in the universe. Comprehending any one of them, becoming a universe country leader, would be easy. Since it was recognized by countless warriors, then the 7th to 9th pictures naturally contained unbelievable wonders. It was purely because Luo Feng's strength was too weak, he couldn't even feel it subconsciously. Luo Feng had looked at the pictures before. He had seen the 9 universe tablet pictures. However, now that he saw the real primal chaos tablet, especially when he looked at the first picture, the raindrop picture, his entire consciousness was instantly immersed in it. The 9 raindrops in Luo Feng's consciousness transformed into a limitless concept. Keep in mind that Luo Feng had 3 bodies, because all 3 of them were carriers of consciousness. Just like how an earthling's consciousness carrier is the soul in their consciousness. The golden horned beast's consciousness carrier was the soul within the core. The Masha clansman's consciousness carrier was the life crystal. Because the 3 were one, their consciousness was connected. Hence what Luo Feng saw. Naturally, the other 2 bodies within the internal space saw as well. How? In the eyes of the golden horned beast, those 9 raindrops seemed to have become sharp claws like tails swooping over or like golden horns shooting over. The Masha clansman, black-clothed Luo Feng, wielded a shield and a blade. The life core within him revolved slightly, completely resonating with the space laws. In his senses, the 9 raindrops had completely become blade attacks infused with the space origin laws. As the darling of space, the Masha clansman couldn't help but unleash his blade attacks. In the Earth body before the 9 universe tablet, when he saw the 9 raindrops, however, he could faintly see 9 different conceptions. They seemed to have turned into 9 golden swords that were continuously combining and launching wave after wave of attacks. Different specialties, one would see different things. However, different paths lead to the same destination. To be able to become a treasure of Primal Chaos City, one of the treasures of the human race in the universe, the 9 universe tablet was indeed filled with wonders, The energy and laws within could unknowingly guide others to study and improve. As it was precious, many came to study it. Hence, there was a limit. The first time one came to Primal Chaos City, as for the future, one would have to rely on one's own comprehension. Resources were limited. Only true warriors would receive 1, 2, 3 chances to study it. Each time it lasted 7 days. Within the training room, Luo Feng and the other 13 were completely immersed within, not even noticing the flow of time. Rumble. The bronze door suddenly opened. The 13 were still immersed in it. Come out. A voice rang out, directly pouring into everyone's mind. Come out. Come out. Come out. Come out. The voice resounded within their minds, getting louder and louder, causing everyone to instantly wake up. That resounding voice within their minds caused Luo Feng to clutch his head. So, the 13 rushed out. The moment they rushed out, the voice within their minds vanished. Only then did they feel comfortable. Is it over? The moment Luo Feng walked out of the door, he looked back unwillingly at the training room. However, the room was filled with chaos energy. He couldn't even see the tablet clearly. At this time, Luo Feng finally understood why the previous batch was so reluctant to leave. 2 chapters finished. The other authors were all chatting. Tomato was alone in his room writing. He's still working hard. Chapter 459. Before the training room, the ape youth bowed respectfully to the guardian Candeli, after which he became a beam of light and left. The 12 of you wait a moment. The guardian Candeli smiled. Luo Feng looked suspiciously at the old man before him. The other geniuses were too. Candeli smiled. This is your first time entering the training room. Let me remind you. Go find a place to stay for the next 30 years, after which you can enter the virtual universe and apply to enter the heavenly bridge. Enter the heavenly bridge? Luo Feng and the others were curious. Enter the virtual universe network and enter the heavenly bridge. You'll understand. Candeli smiled indifferently. You can leave now. Seeing that the guardian didn't want to say much, Luo Feng and the others could only leave. After leaving the residence, Luo Feng and the others immediately split up and began to search for a place to stay. Primal Chaos City took up a huge amount of space. Other than a few special constructions, all the residences were pretty much exactly the same. And most of the doors were pale white, which meant that the residences didn't have owners yet. Where should I choose to stay for the next 30 years? Luo Feng pondered. I'll choose a quiet place near the center of Primal Chaos City. The city leader's residence was right in the center of Primal Chaos City. Around it were many residences. Many of them were unoccupied. Luo Feng very quickly chose a more secluded place. Standing in front of the door, he placed his hand on it. Dee. The door began to make a sound. Simultaneously, the color of the door began to darken, from pale white to dark gray, and then it stopped changing. Welcome, Master. An electronic voice resounded. Luo Feng immediately entered the residence. The first level was a huge living room. The facilities within were complete and advanced. The electronic voice continued. I'm a service AI. While Master is here, I'll be at your service. Whatever you need, like food, drink, etc., just instruct me. Luo Feng immediately followed the stairs, becoming a blur, immediately reaching the balcony of the 3rd level. On the rooftop, there are also some random notes left behind by previous cultivators. However, there was no pattern to it, although one could faintly feel some special intent. After seeing the 52 Primal Chaos tablets, one was not interested in these random and messy notes. His time in the Primal Beginning universe was precious. He could not waste it on inefficient things. From today onwards, I will truly begin training in Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. In the distance, he could see some of the trainers on the balconies. These trainers all had different appearances. Some of their hair was already very long, as though they hadn't moved for many years. Enter the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Yuxiang Mountain Absolute, Beginning Region Villa, 1136. Luo Feng appeared in the villa. Your Highness. The group of servants and guards hastily bowed. Luo Feng nodded, simultaneously saying, "Request to enter the heavenly bridge." Understood. On Luo Feng's shoulder, the fist-sized virtual assistant Babata immediately contacted the virtual universe system to request. Very quickly, a voice resounded in Luo Feng's mind. Identity confirmed. Luo Feng, you have permanently obtained the right to enter the heavenly bridge. I hope you work hard and reach the end of the bridge. Teleport now. Shua. Luo Feng immediately vanished from the villa. Virtual universe, a special plane space. This space was a vast and endless ocean. The waves raged. There was a beautiful island on the ocean, and there were 52 ports on the edge of the beautiful island. Each port had an endless bridge that extended all the way to the end of the world. It was as if they were going to connect to the distant horizon. These 52 bridges completely enveloped the entire sky above the ocean. Above the ocean waves, there was a faint mist, making one unable to see clearly what was within the ocean. The mist wrapped around the bridges, making it seem like a dream. Luo Feng suddenly appeared in the plaza in the center of the island. Luo Feng, you've come too. There were already 9 youths around. Luo Feng looked. These 9 were from the same batch as him that studied the 9 universe tablet. Do you all know what this place is? Luo Feng asked curiously. You can ask the Lord Watchman. The 9 pointed not too far away. There stood a man dressed in a black star robe. This man had 4 ears and no nose. He smiled as he walked over. How do you do, Luo Feng? I'm the Watchman of the Heavenly Bridge, Bevan. However, I prefer others to call me Watchman. How do you do, Lord Watchman? Luo Feng bowed respectfully. Let me introduce you. The Watchman, Bevan, nodded. This heavenly bridge was created specifically for the 52 primal chaos tablets of Primal Chaos City. As our human race has studied the 52 primal chaos tablets for trillions of years, hence within Primal Chaos City, we've formed 52 sections. The Watchman, Bevan, exclaimed, for example, you all study the 9 universe tablet. Naturally, you're part of the 9 universe sect. And similarly studying the tablets, there's a difference in comprehension. The stronger ones will be given another chance to study the tablet. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Another chance to study the 9 universe tablet? After experiencing the enlightenment of the 9 universe primal chaos tablet, he had a clear direction for his future cultivation. The thrill of progress was indeed addictive. If he could study it again, that would be such a wonderful thing. How do you prove your strength? It's not through words. The Watchman, Bevan, smiled. Hence we built the heavenly bridge in the virtual universe. Passing the bridge, the further you go, the stronger you are. On this island, there are 52 heavenly bridges, each corresponding to the 52 primal chaos tablets. You are here to comprehend the 9 universe primal chaos tablets. So you are here to challenge the 9 universe heavenly bridge. This 9 universe heavenly bridge is incomparably long, and you need to continuously advance through each level. There are a total of 27 levels. If you successfully pass the first level, you'll receive a chance to study it. Every level you pass, you'll receive another chance. The Watchman, Bevan, smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was enlightened, right? He had met that ape youth before in the training room. That ape youth had said, I've successfully passed the 6th level. I've gained another 7 days of study. Obviously, every level he passed meant another chance to study it. However, the heavenly bridge is very hard to pass. The Watchman, Bevan, exclaimed, punks like you, normally you can't even pass the first level. Luo Feng was shocked. The 9 universe heavenly bridge has a total of 27 levels. The further you go, the deeper your comprehension of the 9 universe tablet. If you completely comprehend the 9 universe tablet, you'll be able to pass all 27 levels. However, this is simply too difficult. Undyings usually reach the 10th level. The Watchman, Bevan, exclaimed, if one can reach the 18th level, they'll be considered invincible amongst the Undyings. Reaching the 21st level, they'll become a universe country leader. What? Luo Feng was shocked. Reaching the 21st level, one could become a universe country leader. Becoming a universe country leader was simply too difficult. From this, one could imagine how difficult it was to reach the 21st level. And becoming an undying was very difficult too. Hence, reaching the 10th level was already very impressive. As for the highest level, the 27th, one had to comprehend the entire 9-universe tablet before they could reach it. That was simply too far away. Work hard. The watchman Bevan smiled. This is a path that leads to the pinnacle. There are many amongst the universe humanity that walk these 52 paths. And the moment you can pass the 18th level, you'll immediately become a permanent resident of Primal Chaos City. There's no need for any other conditions. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Permanent resident of Primal Chaos City? However, passing the 18th level, that was simply too difficult. Those who entered before have failed. The watchman Bevan looked at Luo Feng and the others. Next, attempt the 9-universe heavenly bridge. Let me. Of the 9 people who had already arrived, one of them immediately transformed into a streak of light and flew towards the 9-universe heavenly bridge of the 52 heavenly bridges. Just 2 minutes later, watchman Bevan said, "Still a failure. Next. Another failure. Next. Failure. Next. They've all failed. Only you are left, Luo Feng." At this time, there were a total of 12 newcomers attempting the 9-universe heavenly bridge, of which 2 had attempted before Luo Feng had arrived, and now 11 of the 12 had failed consecutively. Only Luo Feng was left. This made the pressure on Luo Feng rise greatly. Indeed, the heavenly bridge is very hard to pass. These are all geniuses. There were 3 in the heaven and earth region, yet none of them passed the first level. Luo Feng, work hard. The watchman Bevan smiled at Luo Feng. Your batch up till now, along with the 900 that tried before, you've already passed close to 90%. So many, other than Bolin, none of the others have passed the first level. What? Luo Feng was shocked. Many of the others had gone to the training rooms right from the start. Luo Feng had waited for an entire day in the tower. Hence, it was normal that there were close to 900 geniuses who had passed the heavenly bridge test. Bolin is very strong. He passed the first and second level in one go, gaining 2 additional chances to study. The watchman Bevan exclaimed. As for the others, even the other genius of the primal region, Long Yun, failed and didn't pass the first level. None of them passed the first level. Pressure. Luo Feng felt the pressure. This batch of absolute geniuses, Bolin, Long Yun, and Jialai, she had all been tested. According to the time, they entered the training room. When Luo Feng entered, Rongjun and the Manka youth Wuka, who chose the huge axe tablet, hadn't entered yet. Hence, the absolute geniuses from the absolute beginning region that hadn't been tested yet were Luo Feng, Rongjun, and Wuka. Go ahead. The watchman Bevan looked expectantly at Luo Feng. So, Luo Feng became a blur and headed straight for the distant heavenly bridge that extended all the way to the horizon. From afar, he could see a stone tablet before it. On it were the words 9-universe. Chapter 460. The heavenly bridge extended all the way to the ends of the land and skies. White mist shrouded the area, and the ocean below roared. The moment Luo Feng stepped into the 9-universe heavenly bridge, Babata's voice resounded in his mind. Luo Feng, I've just received a mail. It's from the Virtual Universe Company. What's the content? Luo Feng asked. It's the points reward rules. Babata said. Points? Luo Feng stood on the heavenly bridge. He couldn't help but be overjoyed. The Virtual Universe Company had many incomparably valuable items. Like level 5 spirit weapons were only worth about 10 points. Even life fruits could be exchanged for as much as one wanted. The richness of these resources made one speechless. However, one had to rely on points to exchange. You may have large amounts of wealth. However, within the Virtual Universe Company, they only accepted using points to exchange. There are many ways to exchange for points. Right now in Primal Chaos City, you have one way to get points, that is to pass the heavenly bridge. Babata said, The 9-universe heavenly bridge has a total of 27 levels. Passing the first level, 100 points awarded. Passing the second level, another 200 points awarded. Passing the third level, another 400 points awarded. It'll double. After that, it'll be 800 points, 1,600 points, 3,200 points. Luo Feng calculated if he passed the 10th level, the 20th level, his points would be ridiculously high. However, passing the 21st level would make him a universe country leader. One could see how hard it was to get points. Luo Feng, the male, also said, "You are newbies that have just entered Primal Chaos City. To the young geniuses, the Virtual Universe Company has a special reward rule. As long as you pass the Heavenly Bridge within 30 years, your points will be 10 times the reward. Which means, within these 30 years, if you pass the first level, the reward will be 1,000 points, the second level will be 2,000 points, so on and so forth. This 10 times reward is only for the newbies that enter Primal Chaos City for the first time. In the future, when you enter Primal Chaos City again, there won't be such a good thing." Luo Feng nodded. Originally, every level's reward was 100 points, 200 points. Now, it was 1,000 points, 2,000 points. This was a special reward for the younger generation. However, because they were young, many of them had only just stepped through the door of the universe origin laws. Didn't you hear what the Watchman Bevan said before? The Virtual Universe Company's batch of 1,000 geniuses had already tested close to 900. Other than Bolin, none of the others had passed the first level. Wanting points? Difficult. Let's go. Luo Feng looked at the heavenly bridge that extended beyond the clouds. He squinted and became a beam of light and flew over. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng and the rest of the 12 were considered to have tested rather late. Like Bolin, Jiao Lai Shi, Ai, Chun, and many other geniuses had tested long ago, and they swiftly understood Primal Chaos City. To become a permanent resident of Primal Chaos City, there are many ways, but the most impressive one is to pass the 18th level. Anyone who can pass 18 levels of the Heavenly Bridge is an invincible existence amongst undying, and they all have the right to open their own sects in Primal Chaos City. Jiang Mo exclaimed. 52 sections. There are indeed many sections. Qian Shui nodded slightly. To be able to establish a sect is very impressive, said Jiang Mo. They all have extremely high accomplishments in their respective paths. However, if you want to enter those sects and listen to the lectures of those experts, you need to at least reach the 3rd level. Primal Chaos City prohibited killing. It was a cultivation holy land for the entire universe's human race. There were 52 major sects here, and within each sect, there were many experts who created their own sections. And to be able to gain the recognition of the city leader and have the right to create their own sect, the sect leader had to at least pass the 18th level. These sect leaders were purely lecturing. The disciples under them, however, listened to the lectures. To have the right to listen to the lectures, one had to pass the first 3 levels of the Heavenly Bridge. If one couldn't even pass the first 3 levels, they had no right to attend. 52 Primal Chaos Tablets. Their profoundness varies. Jiang Mo exclaimed. This resulted in the 52 heavenly bridges. Some only have 21 levels, some have 24, some have 27, and the highest is 32. Among these 52 Primal Chaos Tablets, only the huge Axe Primal Chaos Tablets Heavenly Bridge has 32 levels. The levels of the Heavenly Bridge, to a certain extent, reflected the profoundness of the tablet. This was because for all the heavenly bridges, as long as one could pass the 21st level, one could become a universe country leader. It's not that the profounder the better. Qian Shui shook her head. It's extremely difficult to produce a universe country leader. Even though these 52 tablets vary in profoundness, out of trillions of geniuses, it's rare for one to reach the 21st level. If one can't even pass the 21st level, then what's the point of the huge Axe tablets later levels? Right? Jiang Mo nodded. Within the 52 Primal Chaos tablets, the 9-universe tablet was considered one of the more profound ones, enough to rank in the top 5. Of course, before becoming a universe country leader, Discussing which tablet was more profound had no meaning. Just like the 9 Universe tablet's 9 pictures, especially the last 3 pictures, Luo Feng couldn't feel anything at all. It was simply too mysterious. He couldn't feel any origin laws at all. Primal Chaos City, within a 9-level pagoda. Most of the buildings in Primal Chaos City were exactly the same type of training quarters, and some special structures represented a special status. 9-level pagoda's 7th level. A woman shrouded in black muslin sat cross-legged on the ground. The lower half of her body was a huge snake tail. The snake tail coiled around the ground, and her face was indistinct, making it impossible to see her face clearly. However, her eyes were as bright as the stars, as if they contained a dazzling galaxy, causing people to be infatuated with her. "You've come." A hoarse voice resounded from the snake-tailed lady. "Huh." A sturdy, golden-armored ape-man with golden fur on his face appeared within the pagoda, laughing loudly. "Wu and I, you're also one of the sect leaders of my 9-Universe sect. No matter what, you should open your doors and teach, give pointers to the younger generation." The snake-tailed lady said hoarsely, "True Yin, right now in the 9-Universe sect, amongst the many sect leaders, you're the strongest. With you teaching, there's no need for me to teach anymore." "Huh?" The ape-man laughed loudly. "You and I have trained for trillions of years. There's no use in just training. Only the occasional epiphany will have an effect. From what I see, you shouldn't always stay in your 9-Universe tower. Back when the 9-Universe tower was built, you said you'd comprehend the 9 pictures and reach the top. Why has the Black Mist Emperor become so low profile? Undyings, there were high and low positions. Normal undyings could become army leaders and lead an army. And the strong could become kings and officials. Like True Yin and Black Mist Emperor, they were both absolute beings amongst the undyings. They opened their own sects and taught the younger generation. 9-Universe Tower was very famous in Primal Chaos City, because back then when the Black Mist King built the 9-Universe Tower, she said that whichever picture she studied, she would enter that floor. Obviously, she had already begun to study the 7th picture of the 9-Universe tablet, so she stayed on the 7th floor of the 9-Universe Tower. Let's go, our virtual universe company's newest batch of geniuses. 12 have chosen the 9-Universe tablet. Let's see if there's any good seedlings. No matter what, I'm still the virtual universe company's True Yin Emperor." The ape-man laughed. "You're the virtual universe company. I'm the Battle Axe Dojo. Why should I go with you?" The snake-tailed lady said indifferently. "You're really not giving me face?" The ape-man stared. Even though the two belonged to different powers, their relationship was indeed very deep, both opening their own sects in Primal Chaos City. Back then they discussed their understandings of the 9-Universe tablet. One discussion and debate about the origin laws. It lasted for 18 eras. This was one of the great stories of Primal Chaos City. That discussion and debate made the two of them break through another level. "Let's go." The snake-tailed lady glanced at the ape-man. "Ha!" The ape-man laughed. "Virtual universe, heavenly bridge." 2 people appeared on the island, the ape-man and the snake-tailed lady. Their pure willpower and pressure made one feel like they were facing an endless galaxy. True Yin Emperor, Black Mist Emperor. The watchman Bevan bowed respectfully. "Have the little punks of my 9-Universe sect finish their tests." The ape-man looked at the watchman. Bevan said respectfully, "This time there are a total of 12 who chose the 9-Universe tablet, of which 11 have just finished their tests. Right now the last one, and also the one with the most hope, is called Luo Feng." The one with the most hope. The ape-man's golden eyebrows creased. The 11 from before all failed. None of them were able to pass the first level. The watchman Bevan said, "Failure doesn't matter." The ape-man smiled and said, "Some people are defeated instantly. Some struggle for a long time before they lose, and some almost win. This also represents the difference in strength. Show me the footage of the 11 from before, in a while. Show me Luo Feng's footage." "Yes." The watchman Bevan immediately pulled out the 11 footage. As the watchman, Bevan had many things to do, like the battle footage of the Heavenly Bridge. He naturally had to prepare it. Who? Who? 11 screens appeared in front of True Yin. True Yin looked at the 11 screens with interest, and the 11 battle videos started playing at the same time. Woo! True Yin rubbed his chin, stroking his golden beard, his lips twitching. At this time, Luo Feng had run to the end of the first level of the 9-universe Heavenly Bridge. Choose your opponent. You can choose a fighter, a spirit reader controller, a spirit reader hypnotist, any one of them. Whoever defeats them will pass the first level of the Heavenly Bridge. Before Luo Feng was a huge cloud. A voice resounded from within. According to the information Luo Feng received, he had to defeat the opponent before the cloud would dissipate. Only then could he enter the next level. I choose controller, Luo Feng emphasized. Who? A black liquid immediately flew out of the cloud. This black liquid began to condense in mid-air, forming a mysterious black masked silhouette. This mysterious man stood on the dark cloud shuttle. On his back, the dark golden long rod, Nanshan armament. Under the black mask, a pair of cold eyes stared at Luo Feng. Speaking in human language, battle begin. End of 2 chapters, taking a long journey to North Sea, staying up late to write 2 chapters, brothers, seeing how hard Tomato works. Give me some monthly votes to encourage him. Tomato thinks he's hardworking too, hence I'm asking for votes. Chapter 461. Defeat him, and you'll be able to enter the second level of the Heavenly Bridge. The cloud misspoke. Same as me on the dark cloud shuttle, and using the Nanshan armament. Luo Feng squinted, with a thought the hexagonal absolute void shield and the ghost blade golden shadow blade appeared in his hands. Simultaneously, the dark golden long rod on his back immediately shot out beams of golden light, a total of 54 beams of light. Every 9 strings of golden light quickly fused together, transforming into a golden sword that was over a foot long and looked very real. The Nanshan armament's second level, sky-piercing form, unleashed 1 golden blade. However, Luo Feng was able to unleash 6 in one go. One reason was because his spirit energy broke through from star level 9 to universe level 1. The more important reason was that during these 3 years of traveling in the universe, Luo Feng's strength had grown at a shocking rate. Kill! The mysterious man roared, stepping on the dark cloud shuttle and rushing over. At the same time, 3 real golden blades swiftly formed behind him. These 2 were both controllers. At the same time, one side controlled 6 golden swords, while the other side controlled 3 golden swords. These 3 years, I've never relaxed. Compared to the genius battle, I'm much stronger. I'll let you test my current strength. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with endless fighting spirit. The 6 golden blades seemed to be extremely familiar with each other, working together and pressing forward. Dang! 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 In mid-air, the 6 blades and the mysterious man unleashed his 3 blades, madly attacking again and again. What's going on? Luo Feng was shocked within. Before coming to Primal Chaos City, he could already use 6 golden swords. Controlling the 6 golden swords was the easiest and most familiar thing for him, because he was so familiar with controlling them. Even though he had improved a lot in the 7 days of studying the tablet, he still chose to use 6 golden swords, because he was very familiar with the combination of the 6 golden swords and how to attack. He actually blocked it. I don't believe it. Luo Feng's eyes were cold. The 6 blades, almost like 6 perfect soldiers, advancing and retreating, extremely perfect, attacking again and again, trying to break through the 3 blades obstructions to kill the enemy. However, failure, failure, failure. After failing again and again, the 3 golden swords controlled by the mysterious man seemed to have a special artistic conception. It was as if the 3 golden swords were not separate entities, but a perfect whole. From time to time, the 3 golden swords would give off the feeling of an endless wave of pressure. At other times, he was like an unshakable mountain that reached the clouds. How is this possible? Luo Feng was shocked within. I have 6 golden blades. He only controls 3. Why can't I have any advantage at all? Work hard. Again and again, He tried everything he could to make the 6 golden swords work together, but his opponent was still floating far away. He could easily block the attacks with just 3 golden swords. Idiot, you don't even understand this. The mysterious man revealed a pair of eyes with a hint of mockery. Trying to pass the first level? Die. Shio. The 3 golden swords controlled by the mysterious man suddenly changed their forms. Suddenly the 3 got closer to each other, giving off a feeling of 3 becoming 1, almost like a huge blade that could slice through the skies. Luo Feng was shocked within as he controlled the 6 golden swords to block. Rumble. A huge sound resounded. Luo Feng's 6 golden swords were all knocked back. Ow! In the distance in midair, Luo Feng was shocked within. Ha, idiot! 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 The mysterious man roared. Against the 3 rainbows that were coming at him, Luo Feng fiercely roared. Rise! Rumble! 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 The 3 golden swords behind Luo Feng rose. The 6 that were knocked back rose too. Simultaneously, Luo Feng's body glowed with a glaring gold light. The light was like a wave that rippled in all directions, swiftly wrapping around the 9 golden swords. The 9 swords were almost like the base of a huge formation. The golden threads interweaved, the golden blade energy with the 9 swords as the center expanded. In an instant, with Luo Feng as the center, the 300m radius of the spherical space immediately became a glaring blade energy world. Countless golden blade energy flowed about within this space. Although it was slow, in truth, the moment the 9 swords rose, they swiftly formed the spherical space. Nanshin Armament's 3rd level, Heavenly Blade Formation, also known as the Blade Domain. The Nanshin Armament had a total of 9 levels, of which the 2nd level, the sky-piercing form, was merely the 9 golden blades fusing into 1 golden blade. The 3rd level, however, required 1 to simultaneously form 9 blades. That was equivalent to 81 golden blades fusing together to succeed. The difficulty was extremely high, much higher than the 2nd level by tens to hundreds of times. Luo Feng could successfully unleash it. It was due to his huge increase in strength over the past 3 years, and his spirit energy reaching universe level 1. Chi, the 3 golden rainbows seemed to have sunk into a blade energy swamp within the spherical space, being weakened by countless blade energy, their speed constantly decreasing. I admit you are very strong. However, against absolute power, you still lose. Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle, rushing like lightning towards the distant mysterious man. The Blade Domain, with Luo Feng as the center. As Luo Feng rushed, the entire domain naturally followed swiftly. Break! The mysterious man swiftly fled, simultaneously roaring. Chi! The 3 golden swords he controlled actually instantly drew close to each other. Countless golden threads flowed and actually intertwined around the 3 golden swords to form a misty, huge golden sword. The misty, huge golden sword swiftly cut through the countless sword energies that were obstructing it. With a dreamy rainbow light, it directly pierced towards Luo Feng. What move is this? Luo Feng was shocked. He had trained the Nanshin armament and studied it. However, he didn't know anything about this move. Heavenly Blade, Luo Feng roared. Chi! The 9 blades that formed the Blade Domain had already become 1. With Luo Feng's control, immediately one of them was like a hunting leopard that rushed out, bringing with it the entire Blade Domain's power, piercing straight at the golden huge blade. In an instant, the countless blade energy in the Blade Domain seemed to have received an order to block or follow behind the golden blade. The golden blade that brought with it the Blade Domain's power. The huge golden blade formed from the fusion of 3 blades. It instantly clashed. Rumble! The golden blade was immediately repelled. The huge golden blade was like a huge ship charging straight, immediately knocking over Luo Feng's golden blade and immediately arriving before him. Luo Feng, who didn't have time to dodge, wielded his blade and shield. Rumble! Luo Feng used a shield to deflect the force. However, he felt the huge golden blade was like a majestic mountain smashing at him, causing his entire body to tremble and spit out fresh blood. No wonder even using the heavenly blade formation couldn't block it. This force is unbelievable. Following which Luo Feng's consciousness trembled. When he awoke again, he was already back in the virtual universe Yuxiang Mountain, within his villa in the absolute beginning region. Your Majesty. The servants and guards bowed. Luo Feng nodded. Your Majesty, how is the heavenly bridge? The manager of the villa, also the leader of the guards, Sector Lord Ao Duo Liku asked. I failed. Luo Feng shook his head. The heavenly bridge is very hard to pass. It's normal to fail the first time. Your Majesty doesn't have to worry too much. Ao Duo Liku said. Luo Feng's expression was calm as he returned to his study. Within the study, I lost. Luo Feng frowned. Out of this batch of 1,000, close to 900 have tested. Other than Bolin, who passed 2 levels, the others didn't even pass 1. Failure. I'm not surprised. However, the first level's opponent also used the Nanshin armament, and he only used 3 golden blades, yet he was able to break my heavenly blade formation. Basics. Luo Feng. I've said before that the basics are important. You used 9 golden blades to form the heavenly blade formation. The opponent only used 3 golden blades to win. This is the importance of the basics. On his shoulder, the fist-sized Babata shouted. It's not the same. He used the Nanshin armament with me. It's different. Luo Feng thought back to the battle before. I controlled 6 golden blades, or 9. No matter what, they were all individual bodies, just like 6 soldiers or 9 soldiers working together. However, when he used the Nanshin armament, he was able to form a true superposition of power, almost like a true body, especially that last move. Those 3 blades combined to form a huge golden blade. Nanshin Armament's 3rd level, Heavenly Blade Formation. Nanshin Armament's 4th level, Great Skill. This 4th level was in truth a fusion of a large blade formation, becoming one, using absolute pressure to destroy the opponent. It was named Great Skill. I feel that this move of his is similar to the 4th level. Luo Feng frowned. However, it's different from the 4th level. The 4th level is much more complex and powerful, and it's just 3 golden blades fusing together, yet its power is so ridiculous. This is the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablets test. Luo Feng's mind flashed through the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablets first picture. The raindrop picture. On it there were a total of 9 drops. 7 days of study. Luo Feng's mind had a lot of comprehension. Thinking back to the battle before, thinking about the raindrop picture, his mind seemed to recall the 3 drops within the picture fusing together. Don't tell me. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The 7 days of study in his mind, along with the 3 years of studying the origin laws and using the Nanshin armament, these thoughts clashed, large amounts of sparks flew, new ideas constantly appearing. Excitement. Anticipation. I understand. Luo Feng couldn't help but shout. It's better to have no books than to believe in books. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh out loud. The Nanshin armament is a weapon created by a strong warrior. Rigidly using the most basic methods to use the Nanshin armament is simply too rigid and stupid. No wonder he said I was stupid. I was indeed stupid. The raindrop picture. This is the true way to unleash the Nanshin armament's true power. 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet. It was infused with the true path. Any weapon's usage could be found through the path, finding the correct path. Even though he failed this time, to Luo Feng, the enlightenment and benefits were much greater than success. Let's begin. Luo Feng couldn't wait any longer. Chapter 462. The Virtual Universe Training Grounds was the best place to train, as one could set the best training conditions within the virtual universe, and because it was a 100% simulation compared to training in reality, in terms of experience accumulation and comprehension, the results were exactly the same. Just like the killing fields, the fees were shockingly high, yet countless warriors still entered. And as a core member, he had his own training grounds. After which, Luo Feng wasn't in a rush to observe the universe laws in the sky of Primal Chaos City. Instead, he immersed himself in the 7 days of studying the 9-universe tablet, digesting everything he had learned. Your Majesty, His Majesty Wukka has come to visit. The bald sector lord Ao Duo, Li Ke shouted. Wukka. Luo Feng walked out of the training grounds, his body becoming a blur, traversing 10 kilometers of distance, immediately reaching the entrance of the villa. Luo Feng, something big has happened. The silver-clothed black-haired youth rushed in. What's the matter? Luo Feng smiled and asked. It's Rong Jun. This Manka prince's face was filled with excitement, saying, You probably don't know yet. Yesterday, when we went to the Heavenly Bridge to test, our batch of 30 all entered the huge Axe Bridge. However, including me, the others all failed, unable to pass the first level. Only Rong Jun passed it. Out of our batch of 1,000, only Bolin and Rong Jun succeeded. Bolin passed 2 levels. Rong Jun passed 1. The others didn't even pass a single level. What? Luo Feng was shocked. Rong Jun succeeded? In the genius battle before, he and Rong Jun were pretty much on par. And in these 3 years of travel, his 3 great bodies improvements were shocking. Even though he didn't say it on the surface, within his heart, Luo Feng was certain he was definitely ranked second. However, the result of the Heavenly Bridge was like this. And just now, Wukka said excitedly, the leader of a Yuan-Chun universe country, appeared in Primal Chaos City and took Rong Jun as his disciple. Universe country leader? Luo Feng was shocked. Universe country leader led a vast universe country. In the vast universe, they were considered the true ruling class. Under them were large amounts of undyings. How can that be? Luo Feng couldn't believe it. Even Bolin didn't make a universe country leader personally take him as a disciple. Right? I don't believe it either. Wukka shook his head. At the level of a universe country leader, there's no need to take him as a disciple. They were already absolute beings that hadn't fallen in a trillion years, existences that watched over a universe country. Even Bolin, the possibility of him becoming a universe country leader was very, very small. Hence, geniuses weren't worth the universe country leaders taking them in as disciples. However, the leader of the Yuan-Chun universe country had really accepted Rong Jun as a disciple. The information I've received is definitely accurate. Right now, the entire universe, the upper echelons of the 1,008 universe countries have all received this information. Luo Feng laughed involuntarily. Was there a free lunch in the world? Death God Bolin was a peerless genius that everyone else in this batch of geniuses felt they needed to look up to. He didn't even attract a universe country leader to take him in as a disciple. Instead, Rong Jun obtained a universe country leader as his teacher. That's not what surprised me the most. Wukka lowered his voice. I got a message from my father. HM. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. To take Rong Jun as a disciple, it's not just 1 universe country leader, but 2. Wukka's eyes gleamed. However, you should know that the 1,008 universe countries are actually backed by the 5 Leviathans. These 2 universe country leaders, one belongs to the Virtual Universe Company, the other belongs to the Battle Axe Dojo. As Rong Jun is a member of the Virtual Universe Company, he was finally accepted as a disciple by the Yuan-Chun universe country leader. What? 2 universe country leaders fighting? Luo Feng was speechless. No matter, Rong Jun is temporarily stronger than us. Wukka gripped his fist. Anyway, I won't admit defeat so easily. My father said, these 30 years in Primal Chaos City are our starting 30 years, and also the foundation for our future accomplishments. Right now, the training in Primal Chaos City has just begun. It's still hard to say. Luo Feng nodded. Not just Rong Jun, even Bolin, in Luo Feng's heart, was only the first target he needed to surpass. How's your study of the 9-universe tablet? Wukka asked curiously. Still all right, Luo Feng said. I suggest you go to the empty training balconies in Primal Chaos City to take a look. Many of them were scribbled by the ancestors when they studied. Wukka smiled. With our movement speed, spending 10 days to half a month, and we'll be able to walk around and find the most suitable scribbles for us. The Primal Chaos tablet is ultimately too profound, and other people's scribbles may have some sort of effect. This kind of collision of comprehension is the easiest way to improve. This is what my father said. Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at Wuka. His one battle on the heavenly bridge had allowed him to comprehend much and improve greatly. This collision of comprehension was indeed very effective. Thank you, Luo Feng said seriously. No need to thank me. Only competing with the strong is meaningful. The stronger the opponent, the faster one's improvement. Wuka smiled. I'm leaving to find some scribbles. Knowing that Rongjun has been accepted as a disciple by a universe country leader, my battle intent is very strong now. After which he vanished. Luo Feng nodded. He couldn't underestimate anyone. To be able to rank in the top 10 of the 1,008 universe countries, no one could be underestimated. He had the Masha clansman and the Golden Horned Beast. Why couldn't others have other special encounters? After 7 days of study, I've more or less digested everything. The first picture of the 9-universe tablet, raindrop picture, to fully comprehend it, it's definitely not something that can be done in a few days. I'll have to look at the scribbles of the ancestors. Luo Feng's consciousness immediately left the virtual universe and returned to Primal Chaos City, after which he began a carpet search within the city. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island. Thunder Island was the Virtual Universe Company's Undying's gathering place, the true upper echelon's gathering place. The incomparably vast Thunder Island was shrouded in clouds, with lightning snakes swimming about. If Yuxiang Mountain was larger than a normal planet, then Thunder Island was more than 1,000,000 Yuxiang Mountains. This batch of 1,000 geniuses attempted the heavenly bridge. What were the results? The green-armored, purple-scaled man sat high up in the throne and looked down, his voice resounding within this incomparably huge shrine. Night. Below stood a steel tower-like giant, covered in golden fur, and a lion-headed man. His golden fur was incredibly glaring. His entire being was like a star, incredibly dazzling. At this time, he was reporting respectfully, this batch of 1,000 geniuses, 998 have all failed the heavenly bridge. Bolin has successfully passed 2 levels. Rongjun has successfully passed 1 level. And looking at the footage of the heavenly bridge, the other members of the absolute beginning region have done very well. Like Luo Feng, Qian Shui, and Wuka, they've all done well. Compared to the genius battles, they've all improved greatly. The green-armored, purple-scaled man nodded. Only Rongjun alone surprised me. The others are still normal. Send me the footage of Rongjun's battle on the heavenly bridge. The green-armored, purple-scaled man ordered. Yes, Knight. The lion-headed man respectfully sent the footage over. After which, a screen appeared in the shrine, and a video started playing. In the video, Rongjun was like a god of war. He had a savage aura, and his earth splitter blade had reached the acme of perfection. Every slash of his blade was incomparably ferocious, and in the end, he killed his opponent, who was also using the earth splitter blade. The green-armored, purple-scaled man watched calmly, creasing his eyebrows. You may leave. Yes. The lion-headed man respectfully retreated. The divine hall was silent. The green-armored, purple-scaled man examined the footage and muttered, That's weird. This Rongjun's battle talent is indeed shocking. Even though his origin law comprehension isn't that strong, he's able to unleash an extremely strong battle strength. Creating his own blade technique at such a young age, he's a very powerful genius. However, this isn't worth Yuan Shun and Gu Luan, these 2 universe country leaders fighting over him as a disciple. Yuan Shun, Guan, these 2 universe country leaders have existed for extremely long periods of time, much older than me. The green-armored, purple-scaled man creased his eyebrows. They've also reached the Knight level earlier than me. Maybe they've discovered something from this footage that I haven't. As an absolute being on the same level as the Yuan Shun and Gu Luan universe country leaders, Nine-Blade Knight was very clear that geniuses had no attraction to the universe country leaders. So what if they nurtured a genius? Unless they nurtured a universe country leader, otherwise it wouldn't be of much benefit to them. Even Bolin didn't have anyone fighting over him as a disciple. However, for Rongjun, there were two universe country leaders fighting over him. There's definitely a secret. Yuan Shun and Guluan, these two old geezers, are the longest living universe country leaders. They've definitely discovered something. Nine-Blade Knight watched the footage once. With his level of being, he had long since analyzed the footage thoroughly. Whatever he could discover would have been discovered long ago. Why? What secret? Nine-Blade Knight pondered for a while. He could only bury it deep within. Primal Chaos City, 7th level of the 9-level pagoda. The golden-armored 8-man warrior True, an emperor, was discussing with the snake-tailed lady about the matter of the Yuan Chun universe country leader coming to Primal Chaos City to take Rongjun as a disciple. Rongjun, his battle talent is extremely high. The snake-tailed lady said hoarsely, his origin law comprehension may be low, but he's able to explode with extremely strong battle strength. Very exceptional. This wave of 1,000 geniuses from your virtual universe company, other than Bolin, it's his turn. You can't say that. Truyan Emperor said, of the 12 punks that chose the 9-universe tablet, there's one that's no weaker than Rongjun, maybe even stronger. You're talking about Luo Feng? The snake-tailed lady nodded. Right, that punk is only universe level 1, and he's actually able to unleash the heavenly blade formation. It's just that he doesn't know how to adapt. His usage of the Nanshin armament is still stuck at the most basic level. However, his origin law comprehension foundation is very solid. With just a bit of training, his battle strength will rise by a huge amount. In terms of origin law comprehension, Bolin is number 1. This Luo Feng can be considered number 2. HM, the 8-man warrior True Yin Emperor rubbed his chin, muttering, this Luo Feng is definitely a good seedling of our 9-universe sect. I'll have to give him a little hint. What are you doing? The snake-tailed lady was shocked. Why? That Rongjun has a universe country leader as his teacher. I'm just giving him a little hint. The 8-man shook his head. Right now in Primal Chaos City, I'm number 1 under the universe country leaders of the 9-universe sect. Those universe country leaders look down on Luo Feng, Bolin, and the others. My standards aren't that high. I still look up to them. When that Luo Feng passes the 3rd level of the Heavenly Bridge, he'll have the right to listen to my lessons. After a few tens of thousands of years, I might have an absolute undying under me. Ha! The snake-tailed lady shook her head and closed her eyes. Seeing that, the 8-man warrior laughed and didn't disturb her any further, immediately vanishing from the tower. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Chapter 463. Within Primal Chaos City, energy revolved. Dressed in the cloud contact vine armor, Luo Feng stood on the balcony of a training quarters, looking at the distant training quarters. These past 8 days, he had been doing a carpet search. The entire Primal Chaos City had large amounts of empty training quarters. Many of them had scribbles left behind by countless warriors. It wasn't just Luo Feng who was searching, like the Manka Prince Wuka, Long Yun who entered the Primal region, Qian Shui, and Rongjun, etc. from the same absolute beginning region. They were all searching for those scribbles. This group of young geniuses were all clear. The 30 years in Primal Chaos City was their 30 years of building their foundations, and the fastest way to improve wasn't to just bury one's head in training. As the saying goes, sharpening one's axe won't hold up the work. Choosing the right path of thought was very important. There was no need to observe the universe origin laws from the start. Hence, they were all searching for the scribbles of the previous generations. 112 of them have great feelings. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Which one should I choose? The 9-universe tablet's 9 pictures were profound, and the scribbles of the other warriors were like detailed interpretations, allowing people like Luo Feng to comprehend them more effectively. Luo Feng. A clear voice resounded. Luo Feng turned to look. A lady with slightly curly long green hair, mysterious green engravings on her face, almost like it was made of water, floated down on the balcony. smiling gently as she said, Luo Feng, have you found a suitable engraving for you? Not yet. I found 112 scribbles. They're all not bad. I don't know which one to choose. Luo Feng shook his head. Qian Shui, how's your search? Qian Shui, one of the genius siblings from AO Gusi Planet, also an absolute beginning member. I'm hesitating too. Under my teacher's recommendation, I have 3 choices. Qian Shui smiled. I won't talk to you anymore. My teacher saw the video of you crossing the sky-crossing heavenly bridge. He said that in our batch, your comprehension of the origin laws is second only to Bolin. You're even stronger than Rong Jun, Luo Feng frowned. Work hard. You may be ahead now, but that doesn't mean you'll always be ahead. These 30 years will be the biggest changes. Qian Shui flew up. I'm leaving. A green silhouette flew into the distance and vanished within the chaos energy flow. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Your batch of 1,000 geniuses, quite a few of them have quite a strong background. All of them have rankers guiding them from behind, Babata said. Unfortunately, I can't help you, no problem. Luo Feng didn't mind as he smiled. Suddenly Babata was shocked. Luo Feng, I've received a mail. It's sent from the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng was shocked, immediately sending a thread of his consciousness into the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe Network, absolute beginning region, Luo Feng's villa. In the study room, Luo Feng sat in front of his desk and looked at the mail on his laptop. Luo Feng, I've seen the video of you crossing the heavenly bridge. It's not bad. It's just that your usage of the Nanshan armament is too rigid. Weapons were dead, but people were alive. As for how to use the Nanshan armament, naturally you have to maximize its power. You just started studying the 9-universe primal chaos tablet, so I suggest that you go buy a combat mystic art called Floating Blood. It only costs 800 points. After you buy the Floating Blood mystic art, go to the rooftop of Cultivation Residence number 029-002-8981 to take a look. There are inscriptions left behind by the creator of the Floating Blood. This should be the most suitable for you to learn the first 3 diagrams of the 9-universe primal chaos tablet in my 9-universe sect. Work hard. I have high hopes for you. True Yin, a simple mail, however it was sent from within the Virtual Universe Company. It wasn't normal at all. As he was a core member of the company, normal people wouldn't know his network number. Finding his network number and even sending it through the company's internal network, this person was obviously one of the upper echelons of the Virtual Universe Company. True Yin? Luo Feng sat in front of his desk, curious. Who is he? True Yin, I don't know either. Babata too had a curious expression. Babata, find me information on Floating Blood and True Yin. Luo Feng ordered. Different statuses had different levels of authority. Normal people could only see some filtered information in the Virtual Universe Network. Some secrets, like the bug race, automaton race, etc., couldn't be found at all. And Luo Feng's position was high now. His authority was much higher too. Understood, Babata said excitedly. The laptop screen immediately changed. Large amounts of information appeared. This is all related to True Yin. Babata shouted. Luo Feng stared at the screen. There was a lot of information on it. He couldn't help but get shocked. True Yin technique. Created by True Yin Emperor, the Virtual Universe Company's internal selling price is actually 800,000 points. My God, teacher's soul imprint. Babata, you estimated it to be only about 10,000 points. This True Yin technique is actually that expensive? True Yin Emperor? Babata was shocked. This True Yin, he's actually been named Emperor. What's wrong? Luo Feng asked curiously. Luo Feng. Babata was extremely excited. You don't know. Both undyings. However, the difference in power and position is huge. Normal undyings can become a general, leading large amounts of universe warriors to form an army. And some of the absolute warriors amongst the undyings can even be named Emperor by the Virtual Universe Company or the Battle Axe Dojo. Undyings who are named Emperor are considered absolute warriors amongst the undyings. Like your teacher, he barely has the right to be named Emperor. And the pinnacle of the undyings, and even higher undyings and invincible beings are usually named emperor. That's terrifying. And looking at this true yin technique, it's actually selling for 800,000 points. My God, it definitely belongs to the entire universe. Amongst the many undyings, he's the pinnacle of being closest to a universe country leader. This kind of being is very, very strong. Babata said excitedly. Luo Feng understood within. General, conferred Marquis, conferred King. These three positions, to a certain extent, reflected one's power. Babata, the enemy that killed my teacher back then, how strong was he? Luo Feng asked, and the excited Babata was stunned, his blood-red eyes dimmed slightly, after which he said slowly, the enemy that killed your teacher back then was very strong. Your teacher barely had the strength of an official, and that enemy should be at the pinnacle of an official, or even an emperor. Luo Feng was shocked. Someone like his teacher could barely be an official. The enemy could actually barely be an emperor. No wonder his teacher lost so badly back then. That kind of warrior, in your Ganwu universe country, could be ranked in the top 3. Babata said solemnly. Luo Feng was shocked. The Ganwu universe country has over 10,000 undyings. 1,008 universe countries. Undyings that can be named emperor are extremely few. They're all absolute warriors. They usually don't want to stay in a particular universe country. These that can be named emperor are mostly under the 5 Leviathans or independent. Babata said solemnly. Every single one of them are incredibly strong. They're the closest to a universe country leader. One technique can sell for 800,000 points. True Yin Emperor. Even amongst the emperors, he's considered one of the top. Babata said, I saw a technique created by a universe country leader in the treasure trove before. It only sold for 1 million points. A technique created by a universe country leader sold for 1 million points. A technique created by True Yin Emperor sold for 800,000 points. One could see how terrifying True Yin Emperor was. Luo Feng laughed. Babata, before you were still talking about who had a huge figure or background behind them, I, Luo Feng, don't have a huge background or a huge figure, but I can still attract people to teach me. Within, Luo Feng was very grateful to the mysterious absolute warrior True Yin Emperor. This mail to True Yin was just a casual reminder. However, to Luo Feng, it was a huge help in building his foundations. Have you found the floating blood? Luo Feng asked. I found it. On the screen appeared many pieces of information related to the floating blood. Compared to the vague introduction of True Yin Emperor, the introduction of floating blood was obviously much more detailed. Obviously, True Yin's information was extremely confidential. With Luo Feng's authority, he could only find the most basic information. Floating blood, creator Lien Luo, is a basic technique of the 9-universe sect. It mainly talks about the first 3 pictures of a 9-universe primal chaos tablet. Requires 800 points to exchange. Lien Luo, ranked number 1 in the Genius Battle, was chosen to enter the Primal region and chose the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet. After tens of thousands of years of hard work, he created the pinnacle of the 9-universe Primal Chaos Tablet's basic techniques, floating blood. After becoming undying, he was immediately given the title Blood-Clothed Official. He fell in one of the universe secret regions. Luo Feng read carefully. The information also had many things about Lien Luo. This Lien Luo was ranked number 1 in the Genius Battle back then, an absolute genius. The moment he became undying, he was immediately given the title Official. It was a pity he didn't even live for 100,000 years before falling. He died too early. It's a pity. Luo Feng shook his head. If he didn't die early, his future would definitely be limitless. Babata exclaimed and shook his head. Floating blood was a basic technique. It was meant for those below undying level to learn, hence the price wasn't high. However, the price didn't mean it was bad. What Luo Feng needed was a basic technique, and this floating blood was highly recommended by True Yin. Obviously, it wasn't bad. 800 points. I'm just short of 800 points. Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm regretting spending the 10,000 points before too much. I've spent it all. Who asked you to spend it so quickly? Babata muttered. You didn't instigate it? Luo Feng glanced at Babata on his shoulder. Forget it, I'll first go to number 8981 balcony to take a look, to see what this genius Lien Luo from 1,000,000,000 years ago left behind. After seeing Lien Luo's experiences, Luo Feng couldn't help but sigh at this genius from 1,000,000,000 years ago. He felt too early. He didn't even live for 100,000 years. It was an extremely short lifespan amongst the Undyings. Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng immediately became a blur and swiftly flew up, searching for the place Lien Luo used to live in back then. P.S. I've reached the first chapter. Continue writing the second. It's Monday. I'll get some recommendations too. Chapter 464. When Luo Feng was searching for Lien Luo's training ground from a long, long time ago, in a virtual universe, Xiang Mountain Absolute Beginning Region, Rong Jun's Villa Training Grounds. Teacher, carrying the Earth Splitter Blade on his back, the savage youth, Rong Jun, bowed respectfully. In front of him stood a man with a majestic figure and dressed in simple training clothes. Looking at this man, one would feel as though they were looking at a black hole in the starry sky. It would naturally cause one to feel a sense of reverence. He was the Yuan Chun Universe country leader, someone who had existed for who knows how many years, an ancient eternal being that lived thousands to tens of thousands of times longer than planets and stars. The Yuan Chun country leader nodded. Right now I'm practicing the first acts of the huge axe tablet. Rong Jun's eyes gleamed. The Yuan Chun country leader extended his hand, and a huge axe automatically appeared in it. Simultaneously, the space within the training grounds began to warp, changing into a universe space scene. Watch carefully. The Yuan Chun country leader's eyes were deep and unfathomable, almost as though it contained a universe space. He raised the huge axe in his hand, and immediately his entire being seemed to become a huge axe soaring into the sky. Just that powerful willpower that transformed into the huge axe caused the entire space to tremble, almost as though it was about to split apart. Who? He waved the axe. The country lord of Yuan Chun coldly waved the gigantic axe in his hand. Instantly, the starry space froze like a piece of paper before directly splitting apart. Even the stars in front of him were split apart. After that, the entire training space trembled and the starry space dissipated, returning to normal. Rong Jun's eyes stared wide open, the scene from before flashing through his mind. Raising the axe, his willpower was condensed to the extreme. Waving the axe, space froze and then split apart like a piece of paper. The giant axe primal chaos tablet is the most profound among the 52 tablets. The Yuan Chun country leader said coldly, after you comprehend the first axe and pass the fourth level of the heavenly bridge, I'll demonstrate the second axe for you. Yes, teacher, Rong Jun said respectfully. The Yuan Chun country leader nodded, his lips curling up as though he was smiling, after which he vanished. So that's how it is. After his teacher left, savage Rong Jun's eyes gleamed with excitement. So that's how the first axe is displayed. The Yuan Chun Universe country leader had intentionally slowed down his movements when he displayed it, using his willpower to guide Rong Jun, allowing him to comprehend it to the greatest extent. Foster father, just watch two men walk to the peak. Savage Rong Jun mumbled softly, after which he started to study the first axe. As the first axe of the huge axe primal chaos tablet, it was indeed mysterious and profound. If he could comprehend the first axe, he could easily defeat that absolute genius Bolin. After all, Bolin had only passed the second level previously, outside Primal Chaos City. So this is Primal Chaos City's third treasure. The white-clothed young man Bolin, with a blood sword on his back, stood at the entrance of Primal Chaos City, reading the words on the huge stone tablet that introduced the so-called third treasure. His cold eyes flashed with light. Teacher, you told me to find you after I reached Undying. I will reach Undying as fast as I can, definitely. We're on. In the past 10 million years of genius battles, he had always been number one, even though he had heard that a universe country leader had taken Rong Jun as a disciple. But in his heart, he had never seen anyone as a worthy opponent. He was invincible in his heart, so he was invincible. His opponent was himself. Faster, faster, faster. He wanted to reach the undying realm even faster, become a super expert among the undying realm, and become a noble emperor. Bolin muttered. It was because he had such a high conviction that he had improved so much in the space origin laws. His comprehension of space was extremely strong. Naturally, his comprehension of the various energies within space was also extremely strong. Actually, he could have researched gold, wood, water, fire, earth, any one of them. These 5 were very compatible with space. However, he had chosen the wind, because wind, lightning, light, they were very compatible with time. His ambition was huge, even more terrifying than the Time Sector Lord. However, in terms of talent, he was much stronger than the Time Sector Lord Luo. He had the ability to do so. Rong Jun, with the Yuan Chun Universe Country Leader as his teacher, his own battle talent was extremely strong too. Bolin, he didn't even put anyone else in his eyes. His opponent was himself. The other geniuses like Hypnotist Jia Lai, Shiwuka, AI, Chun, Zhang Mo, Long Yin, etc., all had their own fortuitous encounters. To be able to reach where they were today, none of them would easily admit defeat. They still wanted to charge into the absolute beginning region, the primal region. Like Long Yin, a primal region genius. Yet he was being suppressed by Rong Jun. How could he be satisfied? Chaos energy flowed about. Luo Feng walked on the streets, looking at the training quarters ahead. This training quarters had a line of words on the wall. 9 universe sect. As long as there were many different sects of words on the wall, it meant that this training quarters belonged to a certain sect's public training quarters. No one was allowed to use it. After all, other than the 52 Primal Chaos tablets, there were still many exceptional markings on the roofs of Primal Chaos City. Hence, these were all public training quarters. Anyone could come and take a look. Of the 112 that Luo Feng had chosen before, 103 of them were public training quarters. Floating Blood's founder Lien Luo. So this was where he stayed back then. Out of the 112 I chose before, there wasn't this place. Luo Feng sighed within. There was no choice. Primal Chaos City was simply too big. There were simply too many training quarters. A short 8 days of carpet searching. Every single one of the markings was destined to be impossible to study. He could only rely on a short period of time to judge. Entering the quarters. Very quickly, he followed the stairs and arrived at the balcony. On the 100m long and wide balcony, there were messy markings. Simultaneously, there were a few peculiar words. This is the genius Lien Luo's training quarters? Luo Feng frowned curiously. True Yin Emperor recommended this? Shua. Luo Feng jumped off the balcony and landed at the entrance. Looking at the number on the door frame, it was indeed 029-002-8981. The number is correct. It's here. Luo Feng jumped and landed on the balcony. This balcony markings. Luo Feng looked carefully. All of the buildings in Primal Chaos City seemed to use the same type of, or this type of, or that appeared in the Primal Universe. Even after 1 trillion years, it didn't decay. It was very mysterious. The markings on it were still very clear after 1 trillion years. Blade intent? Luo Feng looked at the messy markings on the balcony, squatting down, carefully studying them. These seemingly random markings indeed had many similarities with the 9 Universe tablet. It does have the feeling of the 9 Universe tablet. However, it's just bits and pieces. It's not a system. What's the use? But true, Yin Emperor told me to come here. Luo Feng's gaze swept, suddenly seeing a few peculiar words at the side of the balcony. Babata, translate it for me, see what it means. Luo Feng thought. No problem. Babata swiftly translated. The screen on Luo Feng's arm appeared with the translated words. I, Lien Luo, comprehended the 9 Universe tablet. After 3,000 years of study, I've finally created the floating blood manual. Haha. Once I've completed it, the first 3 pictures no longer hold any mysteries for me. Everything is incomparably clear. These 3 pictures are the foundations for comprehending the 9 Universe tablet. My foundations are very solid. How many can compare to me? Even if others study the fourth picture, their comprehension of space might not match up to mine. The fourth, fifth, and sixth pictures, I have 100% confidence in how to train. In the future, I'll definitely become undying. I'll definitely become an emperor. A few lines of words, a total of 108 words. However, when translated into Chinese, the number of words was slightly different. That confident? Luo Feng was shocked. These words were filled with excitement and strong confidence. Even with trillions of years separating them, Luo Feng could almost see the distant ancient times. An absolute genius created the floating blood technique and was extremely confident in the future, leaving behind these words. Indeed, his improvement speed was shocking. After breaking through to undying, he was immediately made an official. When he fell, his lifespan wasn't even 100,000 years. If he lived a little longer, becoming an emperor wouldn't be a problem. Luo Feng nodded within. With his improvement speed, he wasn't any weaker than Bolin at all. Standing on a balcony, Luo Feng was silent for a while. Luo Feng, Babata shouted. This Lien Luo should be right. The first three diagrams are the foundation of the nine-universe primal chaos tablet, and this, floating blood, is praised by True Yin as the best basic type of secret technique. For him to be able to create this secret technique, it is clear that his understanding of the first three diagrams has already reached the peak. The stronger the foundation, the stronger the momentum. Just like when you attempted the first level of the Heavenly Bridge, the opponent only used 3 golden blades, yet he was able to unleash even more power than you using 9 blades to unleash the Heavenly Blade formation. Luo Feng had long known the importance of the foundation. To be able to build a skyscraper, the stronger the foundation, the more shocking the result. That Lien Luo's foundation had obviously reached the pinnacle. Luo Feng looked silently at the few lines of words. Quietly looking. What are you looking at? Are you listening to me? Babata shouted unhappily. Don't be noisy. Luo Feng's expression was serious, his eyes gleaming, staring at the 108 peculiar words he couldn't understand at all. True Yin told me to look. It should be to look at these 108 words. Babata was shocked. I didn't realize it before, but after looking at it for a while, I realized it. Luo Feng's eyes stared hard. These 108 words. Every word has a slightly different concept. However, the entire 108 words together form an incomparable perfection. If one didn't carefully examine it, they wouldn't be able to tell that each of the 108 words has a different concept. Luo Feng's mind flashed through the 9 universe tablets' third picture. The third picture was the rainstorm picture, a total of 108 raindrops. Terrifying. Too terrifying. Luo Feng's eyes couldn't hide the shock. He actually managed to express all the concepts of the rainstorm picture through these 108 words. Even though he couldn't see through it, after carefully examining it and comparing it, he realized it. Compared to the abstract raindrops, these strokes were complicated. The strokes were like blade moves. They were much more lifelike. From the information I searched before, floating blood is a technique that uses the blade. Right? Every word is a blade move. The 108 blade moves, completely explaining the 9 universe tablets foundation. Luo Feng finally realized how terrifying that genius Lien Luo from back then was. He didn't have time to be shocked. Luo Feng was already completely immersed in these 108 words, comparing them with the comprehension he gained from the 9 universe tablet. He worked hard to search for the 108 blade moves. Chapter 465. The 9 universe tablet has a total of 9 pictures. The first raindrop picture has 9 raindrops. Every drop has a different concept. While Luo Feng was immersed in the 108 words, he constantly compared them with the raindrop picture. Within these 108 words, there are 9 words that correspond to the raindrop picture. These 9 words, along with the 9 raindrops, Luo Feng could feel that they were almost exactly the same. The 9 words were complicated. It made Luo Feng feel like there were 9 blade forms. Profound. The more Luo Feng studied these 9 words, the more he felt they were profound. Every set of sword techniques, was a supreme law of the universe. Every blade form explained a certain essence of the universe space. Even though from the surface he could deduce that the 9 words corresponded to the raindrop picture, being able to deduce and comprehending was too different. Even people who didn't understand English, seeing 2 similar letters would be able to determine they were the same letter. However, learning English was thousands to tens of thousands of times harder than discerning whether the letters were the same or not. Luo Feng was like that now. When Luo Feng was on the balcony of his training quarters, immersed in it, Babata, who was bored within the wrist space, exclaimed, "That's crazy. How can anyone comprehend the space origin laws like that?" Even when the boss became an undying back then, he didn't study so deeply into the essence of a universe space. That Lien Luo, no wonder he was #1 in the genius battle a trillion years ago. A genius is indeed a genius. Even the way he does things is so sick. Comprehending the space laws actually didn't have to be so complicated. Just like many people on Earth learning how to use a computer, learning how to use a Word document, they just needed to learn how to use it. And back then, Lien Luo actually analyzed the essence of a universe space and used 108 words to express it. Just like learning a Word document, this Lien Luo didn't just simply learn how to use it. He had to constantly analyze the entire document, figuring out how it was written. Analyzing the essence. Comprehending the universe origin laws was the same. That kind of blurry comprehension allowed the cultivator to understand what to do better, what was right. Hence, relying on that mysterious feeling, they could unleash attacks that contained the origin laws. Hence, their power was ridiculously strong. However, that kind of feeling was determined to be extremely mysterious. If others asked, they wouldn't be able to explain. They could only exclaim, "It can only be experienced, not explained." Wrong. Unspeakable bullsh *t. It wasn't that it couldn't be explained. It was just that many experts and even undying existences didn't understand the essence of it. Of course, they couldn't explain it clearly. For example, the Masha clan's clone relied on its compatibility with space. Perhaps its combat power was a mess, but in terms of its understanding of space laws, the Masha clan's clone was exactly the same as the Earth body. True Yin is indeed an existence close to the level of a universe country leader. Letting Luo Feng research the essence of a universe space is indeed a very correct way of thinking. Babata was very clear because he had personally witnessed the master of the Yun Mo planet, Hu Yin Bo's training process. His cultivation speed was very fast at first, but the further he went, the more difficult it became. The further he went, the more he felt that the space origin source law was extremely profound. It was very difficult to completely see through it. If I study the essence of the universe from the start and do it step by step, it might be much slower at the start. But in the later stages, the speed of improvement will become faster and faster. Babata sighed softly. No wonder Boss used tens of millions of years to barely reach the level of a conferred marquis. And that Lien Luo, in less than 100,000 years, the moment he became an undying, he was immediately conferred the title of marquis. The gap. When I unleash my movement, I can create over 20 images with a single movement. However, why do I have so many images I've never understood? Luo Feng studied for a while. Feeling his mental state grow weary, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Right now, I finally understand a little. Just a little." However, understanding this little bit made Luo Feng shocked within. "Babata, how long have I been studying for?" Luo Feng asked. "A little over 18 days. Babata replied. "Over half a month, and I've only comprehended a little bit of the first blade form?" Luo Feng sighed within. Comprehending the origin laws and studying its essence, the difficulty was obviously different. With my speed, to study the first blade form, how long would that take? It's a pity I don't have the floating blood manual. These 108 words were, after all, just words. That floating blood manual was the training method left behind by Lien Luo back then. If he had that manual, Luo Feng was confident his research speed would definitely be much faster. 800 points. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. Luo Feng, If you pass the first level of the Heavenly Bridge, won't you get 1,000 points? I know. Luo Feng shook his head. However, I still don't have 100% confidence in passing the first level. These few days, at least the comprehension from the 9-universe tablet had been completely digested. His comprehension of the space laws had deepened. If he were to unleash the Heavenly Blade formation now, its power would definitely be much stronger. Maybe he could win, but he didn't have 100% confidence. If I can comprehend the first blade form, 9 golden blades, with his first concept as a link, forming a perfect body, its power would definitely be ridiculously strong. Luo Feng's initial research allowed him to understand the benefits of comprehending the first blade form. Luo Feng gazed into the distance of primal chaos city. After training for so long, my mental state is tired. I'll go take a look outside the city. That black-robed man from before said there were 3 treasures in primal chaos city. This third treasure is described on the stone tablet outside the city. Luo Feng knew he couldn't continue studying in his current state. Hence, he swiftly headed towards one of the city gates. This was this third treasure. The first treasure, the primal universe's outer laws. The second treasure, the 52 primal chaos tablets. The third treasure, what was it? Primal chaos city, within a huge ancient mansion. All of you leave. The ape-man waved his hand. Yes, teacher. The 10 undyings and sector lords below all bowed respectfully and left the mansion. That Luo Feng actually didn't buy the floating blood technique. True, Yin sat on the chair and frowned. At the same time, his consciousness communicated with his artificial intelligence. He's a member of the absolute beginning mystic realm, so he should have received 10,000 points. What? He already used it up at the start? From the AI, he found out about Luo Feng's 10,000 points before. True Yin was speechless. He actually bought the illusionary techniques. True, Yin shook his head. With his current strength, there's no need to buy the illusionary techniques. He should buy a more basic technique, one that suits him is the best. This punk used up all his points in one go. It's really... True Yin suddenly frowned. This is troublesome. Lien Luo, that monster. Back then, he spent tens of thousands of years to analyze the 108 blade forms. This analysis of the origin laws is much harder than comprehension. It tests one's comprehension and temperament, and also tests one's comprehension of the space origin laws. Unless one is an absolute genius, it's very hard to succeed. From the start, to slowly analyze the universe space essence. In the future, one's accomplishments would be very high. This point of the universe, humanity's 1,008 universe countries, who didn't know? However, even though they knew, this method wasn't widely used because the requirements for temperament, comprehension, and space comprehension were ridiculously high. Firstly, one's space comprehension had to be high. If one couldn't comprehend the space origin laws, how would one study it? As for temperament and comprehension, one had to remain calm during the study. The moment one became rash, everything would be for naught. The importance of temperament, one could imagine. And this sort of analysis of the universe space essence, comprehension was even more important. Walking this path, for most experts, would only waste the long years. Lien Luo, first place in the battle of geniuses, needed tens of thousands of years. Those who were slightly less talented, such as Jiang Mo, AI Chun, and Wuka, might need millions of years. And those normal warriors and geniuses would waste a sector lord's lifespan of 1,000 eras and still not succeed. Even though these 30 years in Primal Chaos City are very important to him. However, letting him suffer a little, wasting a few years is fine. True, Yin shook his head. Let him remember better, to understand that some precious items can't be used up before figuring out their best uses. True Yin didn't think any further. Even though he paid attention to Luo Feng, it was after all due to them being from the same faction and path. He only gave him a little pointers. He didn't have to go to the extent of helping Luo Feng. Luo Feng wasn't worth it at all. Primal Chaos City. The city walls extended endlessly. The city gates opened. Occasionally warriors would enter or leave. Luo Feng too followed the gates and headed out. Where's the stone tablet? Luo Feng stood at the city gates, looking at the endless wasteland that extended into the distance, engulfed in chaos energy. Suddenly, he turned to the left and saw an incomparably huge stone tablet. On it were densely packed universe language words. On it was describing Primal Chaos City's third treasure. Primal Chaos Spirit? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The contents of the stone tablet were roughly Primal Chaos Spirit. When a universe is in its initial state, this primal universe will naturally produce a few peculiar life forms. These life forms look peculiar. They are temporarily named Primal Chaos Beasts. These beasts have varying strengths. Some are strong and some weak. They're all naturally proficient in a few origin laws. Some are proficient in more. Some are proficient in less. When a chaos beast was killed, it would decompose into large amounts of chaos aura and a kind of jade-green light spot. This jade-green light spot was the core of the chaos beast. Chaos beasts did not have a soul. They only had these life spots. These life spots were called chaos true spirits. As long as one absorbs the primal chaos spirit into his body, it will be absorbed by his own soul. After absorbing the primal chaos spirit, the soul will undergo some changes, becoming more compatible with the universe space. Luo Feng. A voice made Luo Feng, who hadn't finished reading the stone tablet's contents, turn around. In the distance, Savage Rongjun was rushing down from mid-air, landing with a thud on the ground, barefooting towards Luo Feng, smiling, "Haha, I haven't seen you come out these few days. Are you preparing to leave the city to hunt the primal chaos beasts too? However, you have to be careful. Because of hunting the primal chaos beasts, we've already lost quite a few people in this batch." P.S. Chapter 1 here. Chapter 466. What? Luo Feng was shocked. You said quite a few people died. Rongjun shook his head. When I first found out, I was just as shocked as you. However, after that, I went out to hunt the primal chaos beasts. It wasn't strange anymore. And do you still remember? Back when we sat in the universe ship and were sent to the primal universe, that night said those words. Luo Feng recalled the scene back then, nodding. I remember. Back then when the green armored purple scaled man sent the 1,000 geniuses over, he said, "You were all brought here by me. I hope to see all of you alive in 30 years. Back then when he heard that, Luo Feng guessed that Primal Chaos City would probably have some dangers. However, after spending a few days in Primal Chaos City, he felt rather safe. It felt like a holy land for cultivators to comprehend. Humans were forbidden from killing each other here. Whoever killed others would die, without a doubt. Even if they didn't kill anyone, they would still be severely punished. And looking at the balconies, the large amounts of warriors training hard, one could only feel the atmosphere of training. There was no sense of danger at all. It's really dangerous. Rongjun emphasized. Don't get careless. Those primal chaos beasts aren't to be messed with at all. The 1,000 geniuses that came this time all received the Virtual Universe Company's rewards and free points. The lowest is 10 mixed elements. The points can be exchanged for precious items too. Who doesn't have a trump card? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and nodded. Things weren't looking good. The geniuses weren't to be messed with. Yet so many had died. This primal chaos spirit was a good thing. However, it wasn't easy to get. The worst thing is that there are so many of them. Even if you bring firearms and an advanced universe ship, if you're not careful and get surrounded, you'll be instantly killed. Rongjun emphasized. Let me remind you, be careful and cautious. This is the real world, not the virtual universe network. The moment you die, you'll really be finished. Luo Feng held his breath. Watching Rongjun leave, Luo Feng was a little confused by his earlier words. He couldn't help but turn and continue looking at the stone tablet. The more one's soul attuned to the universe, the clearer one's comprehension of the universe origin laws. When a sector lord becomes undying, it's a transformation of the soul, and absorbing the primal chaos spirit. It's a gradual transformation. The transformation is small. The undying soul is already eternal. Hence, absorbing the primal chaos spirit is useless. It's only effective against those below undying. Note 1. Undying is forbidden from attacking chaos beasts. 2. The beasts had low intelligence. They had already been split into 3 regions by the absolute warriors of Primal Chaos City. The first region, which was the closest to Primal Chaos City, about 2,000 kilometers away from the city walls, was filled with universe-level beasts. This region was the inner region. The second region was 2,000 kilometers away from Primal Chaos City walls, 10,000 kilometers. This was the middle region, where Domain Lord-level Primal Chaos beasts lived. The third region was the outermost layer. It was filled with Sector Lord-level beasts. Primal Chaos beasts. Their strength was mainly at the universe level, Sector Lord level. The moment an undying level beast was discovered, Primal Chaos City would send warriors to destroy it. Thirdly, domain-level cultivators could only hunt chaos beasts in the middle layer. They were forbidden from appearing in the inner layer. Realm lords can only hunt chaos beasts in the outer layer. They are forbidden from appearing in the inner and middle layers. After reading the contents of the stone tablet, Luo Feng was silent. F***CK. It's obviously to nurture the younger generation. Babata shouted. These Primal Chaos beasts have been split into 3 regions. With Primal Chaos City's strength, they could instantly kill all the Chaos beasts. But they didn't kill them, they raised them. Also, Area Lords can only be in the middle layer, and Sector Lords can only be in the outer layer. Clearly, the innermost layer is left for you guys. Luo Feng nodded. Primal Chaos City was one of the sacred lands of humanity. Many of the arrangements here were to nurture generations of warriors, allowing humanity to prosper forever. Letting the youths risk their lives to kill the beasts was obviously to train the later generations. Flowers in a greenhouse, their futures were limited. Even though it was safer to stay in Primal Chaos City for 30 years, having a sense of danger was a good thing. It was beneficial for nurturing the later generations. Primal Chaos beasts. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. The dark red armor on his body swiftly extended, forming a helmet. His entire body was covered in the cloud contact armor, revealing only his eyes. Let's go take a look and see what these things are. Dressed in a dark red armor, Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and carried the dark golden long rod on his back. The chaos energy floated about, making it difficult for the naked eye to see too far. In a vast wasteland, weeds grew everywhere. This wasteland that had existed for who knows how many years. Even the unknown weeds and rocks that could be seen everywhere were different in nature from the actual universe. Over the years, under the nurturing of the chaos energy, these rocks all had the same characteristic. No matter how long they existed, they wouldn't rot. Luo Feng carefully advanced. Sha! HM? His ears twitched. He immediately landed and hid behind a rock, carefully looking ahead. A black shadow walked out of the weeds in the distance. It was a creature that looked like an ape about 3 meters tall. Its body was bent, and its long arms were directly on the ground. Other than the white fur on its face, there was only a brown vertical eye and a mouth. However, it had no nose or ears. Its tail was raised high and trembling slightly. How strong is it? Luo Feng's consciousness contacted Babata. I don't know. In the actual universe, there's no such thing as a primal chaos beast. Hence the energy it emits. I have no way of determining what level of strength it has. Babata said. Luo Feng nodded. The ape-like primal chaos beast that was running in the distance, its tail raised high like a radar, suddenly stopped. It fiercely turned and looked towards Luo Feng's direction. That single eye immediately emitted rage and killing intent. Rumble. That raised tail fiercely swung, and the primal chaos beast immediately became a blur and reached before Luo Feng. The huge palm grabbed at him. Go! Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle and retreated, controlling it with his mind. Xiao! 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 9 golden lights immediately rose from Luo Feng's back. Simultaneously, 6 of them shot towards the incoming primal chaos beast. Howl! The ape-like primal chaos beast swung its tail once more, creating a series of afterimages. It actually dodged 3 of the golden blades. Dang, dang, dang. 3 consecutive clangs. The primal chaos beast's sharp claws seemed to wave just like that, immediately smashing away Luo Feng's 3 golden blades. At the same time, blades were sent flying. Heavenly blade formation. Luo Feng frowned. Immediately, the surrounding area was enveloped in a golden ripple. The 9 golden blades floated and formed a blade domain. Compared to the heavenly bridge back then, the current blade domain was obviously much more organized. At least there wasn't any messy blade energy shooting in all directions. The blade energy was much more orderly now. With a glaring golden rainbow, one of the golden blades carried the blade domain and countless blade energy condensed. It immediately pierced towards the primal chaos beast. Howl! The primal chaos beast roared ferociously. It waved its furry tail and sped up to escape, almost as though it felt that the attack was very powerful. However, how could its escape speed compare to the Nanshin armament's attack speed? Rumble. The primal chaos beast that couldn't escape in time punched the rainbow with both fists. With a loud sound, the chaos beast's thick arms exploded. Golden blood splattered everywhere, and flesh and bones flew everywhere. That golden streak of sword light had sliced off its head. Rumble. The ape-like chaos beast fell to the ground. At the same time, its golden blood, skin, bones, and flesh started to corrode, turning into chaotic air currents. At the same time, a jade-green spot of light floated up. Primal chaos spirit. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He immediately used spirit energy to envelop that light. Chi. The moment the spirit energy touched the primal chaos spirit, it began to melt. Spirit energy is spirit energy. The soul is formed from large amounts of spirit energy. It's not strange that spirit energy can absorb the primal chaos spirit. Luo Feng immediately absorbed about 10% of the primal chaos spirit into his core. His 3 bodies weren't the core. This core was the true core. Rumble. The surrounding energy rippled violently. Howl! Howl! One by one, these chaos beasts with curved bodies, white fur on their faces, and vertical eyes suddenly flew out from the bushes around them. At a glance, there were at least a few hundred chaos beasts. In terms of aura, some of these chaos beasts were obviously much stronger than the chaos beasts from before. Not good. Luo Feng didn't even have any thoughts of defending. So, a silver-white pyramid automaton ship appeared in midair. However, these primal chaos beasts were simply too fast. Howl! Howl! Luo Feng's body immediately extended dark red vines. 10 vines fiercely flew towards the madly charging group of primal chaos beasts. Rumble. The leader, a tall ape-like primal chaos beast, was whipped flying and spat out fresh blood. However, it didn't die. Luo Feng rushed into the automaton ship, and the cabin door closed. Rumble. The group of primal chaos beasts outside were madly attacking the walls of the ship. However, this was an E-grade automaton ship. How could these beasts, which were at most equivalent to Universe Level 9 primal chaos beasts, mess with it? I finally understand. A group of geniuses, all with ships, all with large amounts of wealth, all able to get powerful laser weapons and rail cannons. Why would they still die? Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. If it wasn't for the automaton ship, he might have been able to escape with the cloud contact vine. However, he would definitely be in a terrible state. Hunting primal chaos beasts, yes, hunting, just like a hunter, quietly and instantly killing them, absorbing their primal chaos spirit and immediately escaping. Luo Feng thought. Before, when it roared and attracted its comrades, I shouldn't have fought it and immediately escaped. In the air above Primal Chaos City, a silver-white pyramid automaton ship appeared in midair, after which the ship disappeared and Luo Feng landed within the city. However, this scene didn't catch anyone's attention. In the Black Dragon Mountain starfield, automaton ships were rare and precious. However, to Primal Chaos City, the sacred land of humanity, the undyings that came here, many of them were richer than Hu Yin Bo. An automaton ship was simply too common. Maybe it's because I've been too tired these few days. Today, I actually wrote 2 chapters late. During the past 4 days, I really wasn't able to update regularly. I've informed everyone beforehand, so it's not considered late. Today, it's considered late. 2 chapters late. Tomato owes 2 chapters. Earlier, I owed 6 chapters. Because March 12th Saturday was a rest day, Tomato added 2 chapters. However, today, I've continuously been late, so I owe 6 chapters. Chapter 467. Luo Feng landed on the balcony of his training quarters. Primal Chaos Spirit. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows, clearly feeling the core within his body. Within the core, the whirlpool galaxy formed from Luo Feng's soul essence was slowly revolving. The resplendent and dreamy whirlpool galaxy had a total of 8 spiral arms. Back when he first reached Universe Level 1, this whirlpool galaxy's core already had a small dark region, a tiny black hole. And now, the Golden Horn Beast was already Universe Level 9. Its most basic soul was naturally at Universe Level 9. Reaching Universe Level 9, the whirlpool galaxy's core, however, had a huge black hole, and within the 8 spiral arms were tiny black holes too. The 8 black holes were slowly swallowing the surrounding star dust. The center black hole, 8 miniature black holes. The formation of these 9 black holes represented Universe Level 9. And for Universe Level 9 to step into Domain Lord, it required the 9 black holes to swallow the entire galaxy, undergoing the most basic transformation. Universe Level to Domain Lord. This level was very difficult. Chi-Chi, the jade green light, landed within the whirlpool galaxy and was swiftly pulled, immediately being swallowed by the center black hole. In the outer regions of the whirlpool galaxy that couldn't be reached, threads of mist formed, enveloping the entire galaxy. The whirlpool galaxy seemed to have undergone a very small change. There's a change. Luo Feng closed his eyes, his heart as still as water, feeling the origin law ripples. In terms of feeling the ripples, the golden horned beast could feel the gold origin law ripples more clearly. The Masha clansman could feel the space origin law ripples more clearly too. The Earth body, however, could feel the origin law ripples more blurry, almost like it was separated by layers of mist. And at this time, improvement, they've all improved. Luo Feng revealed a look of glee. Within the vast metal continent within the internal space, the black mountain-like golden horned beast raised its head and let out an excited roar. Beside it, the black-clothed Luo Feng, who had created close to 1,000 images, stopped too, shouting excitedly, "They've all improved." Yes, the 3 bodies could feel the origin law ripples more clearly. The golden horned beast could feel the gold origin laws more clearly, mainly because of its horns, neck, body, wings, tail, and claws were covered in golden engravings. These engravings were connected to the gold origin laws within the universe origin laws. Hence, the golden horn beast was more proficient in the gold origin laws. It was the same principle. The Masha clan's clone relied on the ripples of the golden engravings on the 10081 facet life crystal core to communicate with the universe's space source, even resonating with the ripples of space. Therefore, not only was it good at comprehending space laws, it was also very powerful when it was used. The 3 bodies shared a single soul core. Now that his soul core had transformed, the 3 of them would naturally improve together. The soul core within the core had transformed. For example, the soul in the consciousness sea of the Earth body and the life core of the Masha race clone had also transformed. The origin soul was shared by the 3 of them, and it was also the core of the 3 bodies. Once he improved, all 3 of his bodies would improve. As long as the original core was intact, any one of the 3 bodies could be reborn if it was destroyed. Even if the 3 bodies were destroyed, as long as the original core was intact, it would still provide an endless supply of energy to form the 3 doppelgangers. This was the heaven-defying ability of the innate doppelganger. However, there were advantages and disadvantages. Once the origin core was destroyed, the three clones would die at the same time, even if they were millions of miles apart. This was Luo Feng's life gate. Good stuff. It can actually transform the soul. No wonder it's Primal Chaos City's third treasure. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. From the student level to the sector lord level, the soul will only continuously grow stronger. Its essence won't change at all. Only from sector lord to undying will there be a fundamental transformation. Right now, relying on this primal chaos spirit, it can actually begin the transformation earlier. Even though the transformation isn't huge, the more it is, the greater the benefits are. Luo Feng was incomparably excited. In terms of battle strength, his earth body was the weakest. The golden-horned beast and Masha clansmen were his true trump cards. Obviously, the transformation of the soul was beneficial to the other two. Come, primal chaos beast. Luo Feng's eyes were burning. Such a treasure. If he didn't get more, it would be a waste. Luo Feng once again walked out of Primal Chaos City and into the wilderness shrouded in chaos energy. This place is shrouded in chaos energy. The signal from the detector is completely affected. Otherwise, I'd have to rely on Babada to scan. Luo Feng thought, if he had a detector to scan his surroundings, there wouldn't be so many geniuses dying. This detector can't scan. Is it because of the primal universe? Or is it intentionally done by the manager of Primal Chaos City? Luo Feng was suspicious, but he didn't think much about it. No matter what, to kill the Primal Chaos beasts, he could only rely on himself. 5 minutes later, half squatting in the grass, Luo Feng carefully stared at the distant Primal Chaos beast that appeared. This was an extremely large Primal Chaos beast. Its body was about 30 m long, almost like a mountain moving slowly. Its scalp was shiny like alloy. At the same time, there were 2 curved horns on its head. Its eyes were almost completely white. Only in the center had a green bean-like pupil. Its pupils emitted a cold aura. Its 4 thick hooves were slowly stepping on the ground. Its ears perked up, obviously on high alert. Judging from the energy, it shouldn't be stronger than the first ape-like beast I met before. Luo Feng squatted in the grass, his eyes cold, heavenly blade form. The dark golden long rod on his back immediately shot out 81 beams of golden light. Every 9 beams swiftly forming a 1 chi long golden blade. The 9 golden blades swiftly rose, simultaneously accompanied by a rumbling golden energy wave that formed a blade domain. Rumble. The golden rainbow shot towards the huge Primal Chaos Beast's head. Howl! The Primal Chaos Beast fiercely turned its head, immediately letting out a furious howl, lowering its head and preparing to use its sharp horn to block the incoming golden rainbow. Chi! The golden blade infused with the endless power of the blade domain, slightly curved, brushing past the horn and piercing straight into the Primal Chaos Beast's head. That alloy-like head was extremely hard. With a chi-chi sound, the golden blade barely managed to pierce into the head, after which with a chi sound, it shot out from the beast's eye socket. Rumble, the Primal Chaos Beast collapsed, along with a jade-green Primal Chaos spirit floating. Its entire body swiftly rotted into large amounts of chaos energy. Xiao! Luo Feng stood on the dark cloud shuttle, his spirit energy engulfing the primal chaos spirit, after which he became a beam of light and vanished. A few seconds later, rumble, 10 huge primal chaos beasts, all of them like thunder, causing the ground to tremble, they all ran over. And in a few seconds, Luo Feng was already a few hundred km away. Hiding behind the rubble, feeling the comfortable feeling of absorbing the primal chaos spirit, Luo Feng smiled. Very good. This is how I should hunt the primal chaos beasts. At most 2 attacks, no matter if it succeeds or not, I'll immediately flee. In the battle with the primal chaos beasts, it'll be a good time to test out some of my insights. It began. His life of hunting the primal chaos beast had finally begun. As he hunted, Luo Feng realized, even though the stone tablet said the inner region's primal chaos beasts were all universe level, In truth, over 60% were Universe Level 1. The rest were Universe Level 2 to 9. All of them were naturally proficient in the origin laws. Their only weakness was low intelligence. Just like the animals on Earth that hadn't mutated, a simple trap was enough to make these primal chaos beasts fall for it. During the hunt, he would occasionally meet Universe Level 9 primal chaos beasts. Luckily, the Cloud Contact Vine was Universe Level 9 due to long-term use of the swelling water fruit. Otherwise, it would be much more dangerous. 3 months after the hunt began, 2 golden blades merging into one. So it's like this. Unleashing his blade domain, Luo Feng finally succeeded in connecting the 2 blades, one at the front and one at the back. The golden threads connected, actually forming a misty, huge golden blade on the outside of the 2 blades. This blurry, huge golden blade, with the support of the blade domain, was terrifyingly powerful, instantly killing a primal chaos beast. Connection. That feeling of being one. Luo Feng remembered that mysterious feeling. It was hard to explain. Of course, Luo Feng understood. The reason he couldn't explain it was because he hadn't analyzed the essence of the universe space laws yet. He had only scratched the surface of the first sword technique in the 108 words of floating blood that he was researching. Even though he hadn't analyzed it yet, at least he knew how to use it. I'll first be able to use it. As for analyzing the essence, I'll take it slow. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. Right now, I can fuse 2 blades. With the blade domain support, I should be able to take on the Heavenly Bridge's first-level opponent's 3 blades as one right. Even though the opponent had 3 blades as one, he didn't unleash the blade domain. No rush. Maybe it's because I'm not strong enough, hence the opponent didn't unleash the blade domain. Luo Feng wasn't in a rush at all. The 30 years in Primal Chaos City was his time to build his foundations. There was no need to rush. It was best to be steady. 8 months later, 3 blades as one. Constantly experimenting on the primal chaos beasts, Luo Feng's understanding of how to infuse the universe laws into the Nan Shun armament was getting more and more clear. He could finally follow that mysterious feeling and link the 3 blades together, forming an incredibly shocking attack. Virtual Universe, Heavenly Bridge. On the island, the Black Star-robed watchman Bevan looked shocked at the white-robed blood blade youth before him. Attempting the 3rd level, Bevan looked shocked at the youth before him. Back then, when the batch of 1,000 geniuses had just arrived in Primal Chaos City, this Bolin had once attempted 2 levels in one go. This was extremely rare in Primal Chaos City's history. Who would have thought that in less than a year, this Bolin would return? HM, Bolin nodded. Go, I wish you success. Watchman Bevan smiled. So, the white-robed youth Bolin flew straight towards a certain port at the edge of the island. That port extended out an endless heavenly bridge. The stone tablet before it had 2 words, universe. 52 primal chaos tablets corresponded to 52 heavenly bridges, of which the huge Axe Heavenly Bridge had 32 levels. It was the highest, and the Universe Heavenly Bridge had 30 levels, ranked 2nd. As for the 9 Universe Heavenly Bridge, it had 27 levels. It was considered one of the highest, enough to rank in the top 5. The lowest of the 52 Heavenly Bridges was 21 levels. Actually, there wasn't much meaning in the number of levels, because to be able to pass the 21st level, one could become a high and mighty universe country leader. Luo Feng and his batch of geniuses. Could one of them become a universe country leader? So, Bolin rushed into the Heavenly Bridge. Chapter 468. After a while, Watchman Bevan's face revealed shock. He successfully passed? He's only been in Primal Chaos City for so long, and he actually passed the 3rd level? Even though it was easy to improve at the start, the further one went, the harder it got. However, Bolin was just too sick. Amongst the other geniuses, Rong Jun passed the 1st level, the others all failed, yet this Bolin actually passed the 3rd. Primal Chaos City's inner universe practitioners were split into 52 sections. The one with the most people was the Battle Axe sect. This was because many people with a bit of background knew that the Battle Axe tablet was created by the creator of the Battle Axe Coliseum. and the 52 tablets corresponded to the heavenly bridge. The battle axe heavenly bridge had the highest level. The battle axe school had the most people. The universe school had the least people. Universe, what was universe? Up and down in all directions was the universe. Since ancient times, it was the universe. The universe represented space. The universe represented time. This school of thought was called the school of the universe. This was because the school of the universe focused on cultivating both the origin-source laws of space and time. Therefore, it was extremely difficult. These two origin-source laws were the most difficult types. Comprehending one was already extremely difficult, much less comprehending two. However, once one comprehended two, their strength would be terrifying. Past the third level. Doesn't passing the third level mean he can come and listen to the teacher's lessons? I heard he was the number one of the recent genius competition. However, he hasn't even been in Primal Chaos City for a year, and he's already passed the third level. That's unbelievable. Normally, in the past, the 1,000 participants of the genius competition, after training for 30 years, the number of people who passed the third level can be counted on one's fingers. This Bolin, he's way ahead of the others. The third level of the heavenly bridge was a huge barrier. Once he passed the third level, it meant that he had learned the basics of comprehending the Primal Chaos tablet. Only then would he have the right to listen to the lectures of the various sect leaders. For example, True Yin King and Black Mist King. They were all super existences who gave lectures. Passing the 18th level, one would become a permanent resident of Primal Chaos City, able to start a sect and teach to the younger generation. Virtual Universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Training Grounds. The muscular man, Long Yun, who was wearing a horned helmet and wielding a huge axe, looked at the screen on his arm and couldn't help but be shocked. The third level, Bolin actually passed the third level? How did he improve so quickly? Why? Long Yun tightened his grip on the handle of his axe, causing cracking sounds to ring out. He clenched his teeth, his expression fierce. But why can't I even pass the first level? Why is the disparity between me and Bolin so great? Long Yun was a genius who entered the primitive mystic realm at the same time as Bolin. Not long after entering Primal Chaos City, Bolin and Rong Jun had shown off their talents one after the other. At that time, Long Yun felt very uncomfortable because he was a member of the Primal region. He was the one who got second place in the Genius contest. However, Rong Jun, who was in the absolute beginning region, could pass the first level, but he couldn't. Therefore, Long Yun had been working hard. Just a few days ago, he had tried it once, but he still failed. Who would have thought that Bolin would actually pass the third level? Is the gap between us really so big? Long Yun squatted down in pain, grabbing the ground. What? Bolin reached the third level? This news was almost simultaneously received by Rong Jun, Luo Feng, Jiang Mo, Wuka, and the others. As they had been in Primal Chaos City for a long time, they often met in the wilderness outside the city. Naturally, they knew each other. When one of them received the news, he immediately sent a message to the others. This Bolin has already passed the third level. I don't believe I can't even pass the first level. Wuka waved his fist, after which his consciousness connected to the virtual universe network. Third level. Hypnotist Jia Lai, she, too, connected to the universe network. The gap can't be that big. Jiang Mo and Qian Shui. The siblings, too, chose to attempt the heavenly bridge. I was originally prepared to wait until I could fuse the 4 blades into one and have 100% confidence before attempting it. I didn't expect Bolin to improve so quickly. Then let's go try it now. Luo Feng was triggered by Bolin too. Gritting his teeth, he too attempted the heavenly bridge. A group of geniuses were training in Primal Chaos City. Naturally, they were competing in secret. When it first arrived, Bolin had passed the second level. Everyone had tolerated it. After all, Bolin was already very strong. However, 8 months later, Bolin had actually passed the third level. One had to know that 8 months ago, Bolin couldn't pass the third level. This meant that Bolin's improvement in these 8 months was not small. One had to know. Each level of the heavenly bridge got harder and harder. Boland's improvement had triggered the group of geniuses' arrogant hearts. Immediately, out of the 913 geniuses that were still alive, over 100 of them chose to attempt the heavenly bridge not long after they received the news. Virtual universe, heavenly bridge. On that beautiful island shrouded in mist, the watchman Bevan was still dressed in his black star robe. At this time, many youths appeared on the island. So many people. Luo Fong appeared on the island. With a glance, he saw the Manka Prince and a few others from the sky and land region and last phase region. 9 Universe Heavenly Bridge, Luo Fong. The watchman Bevan smiled. Go, there's no one on the bridge now. Luo Fong couldn't help but reveal a smile. All the best, Luo Fong. Wooka waved his fist and shouted. You too. Luo Fong grinned. I'll inform you all of a piece of news. The genius from the same batch as you, Jia Lai Shi, has just passed the first level. The watchman Bevan shouted. After Bolan and Rong Jun, he's the third to pass the first level. Luo Fong, who was preparing to fly towards the heavenly bridge, was stunned. The surrounding group of youths were all stunned. Jia Lai Shi? Hypnotist Jia Lai Shi? Back in the genius battle, hypnotist Jia Lai Shi's reputation was very high. Many even thought he could make it to number 2. However, in the end, he lost to madman Luo Fong and didn't make it into the top 10. Hence, he fell to the sky and land region. Even though it was the sky and land region, strength was still strength. This time, he directly passed the first level. Jia Lai Shi actually passed it. The group of youths were all extremely unsatisfied. Jia Lai Shi, Luo Fong snorted softly. He became a beam of light and flew towards the distant 9 Universe Heavenly Bridge. Primal Chaos City was vast and vast. On one of the balconies of the training quarters, Longyan was like a wild bull. He stood on the balcony and gazed indifferently at the distant sky, muttering, Jia Lai Shi passed the first level. He's just a sky and land region member, and I'm from the primal region. However, he passed the first level and I didn't. Chaos. An unprecedented chaos. This made Long Yun unable to train at all. Pain, anger, unwillingness, all sorts of emotions tore at his heart. Calm down. I need to calm down. Long Yun's gaze gradually became focused, saying solemnly, I shouldn't have let my primal region member status become my shackles. I should forget about my identity and train step by step. Yes, just like before. Long Yun was originally a very low-profile and stable person. However, his status swiftly rose, becoming a high-up primal region member. Even the leader of the guards was an undying, and even an undying called him His Majesty. This caused his mentality to change. No matter what, only 3 have passed the first level. I'm not far behind. Bolan, Rong Jun, Jia Lai Shi. Long Yun's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. HM. Long Yun frowned. His consciousness immediately connected to the virtual universe network and received the latest mail. Luo Fong has just passed the first level. There is only one line of words in the mail. It was from Lancelot. Luo Fong? Long Yun's eyes stared wide. In his mind floated the image of that crazy black-haired youth from before. He was very clear, back then during the top 5 battles, his battle with that madman. Accurately speaking, the madman didn't lose to him, but to the constantly shrinking battle space. I have to pass the first level, definitely. Long Yin had no other thoughts in his mind, only one thought. Hard work. Jia Lai Shi and Luo Fong have both passed the first level. Within the Yuxiang Mountain Heaven region, within a villa, Gusi Luo, who was holding a wine glass, fiercely crushed it. The red wine flowed through his fingers and landed on the ground. Gusi Luo, a perfect genius. He was ranked 2nd in the genius battle training space. During the top 10 battles, he fought against Rong Jun. It was the longest of the 10 arena battles. Eventually, he lost to Rong Jun and could only helplessly enter the Heaven and Earth region. However, even in the Heaven and Earth region, his strength was still publicly acknowledged. Gusi Luo and Jia Lai Shi were considered the more tragic absolute geniuses back then. One lost to Rong Jun and the other to Luo Fong. They both ended up in the Heaven and Earth region. Jia Lai Shi Luo Feng, they both passed. Why did I fail? Goosey Luo held the glass shard tightly. The shard turned into powder and flowed down. The geniuses were all proud. Just the genius battle alone wasn't enough to convince everyone. Even if they failed, that didn't mean they would always be weak. Primal Chaos City's 30 years were the true foundation years. During these 30 years, they all fought hard, wanting to suppress the other geniuses. Virtual Universe, Absolute Beginning Region Villa 1136, within the 3-story building. Within the study. The first level, I passed straight through this time. Luo Feng swiftly opened his notebook. He was extremely happy. The battle on the first level wasn't as bad as he thought it would be. That opponent, who was also on the Dark Cloud shuttle and used the Nanshan armament, didn't unleash the Heavenly Blade formation. He was only relying on 3 superb golden swords to fight him. Honestly speaking, even though he too could fuse the 3 blades into one, it wasn't as perfect as his opponents, and he was as agile. Luckily, he had the blade domain support. His power greatly increased, allowing him to instantly kill his opponent. As for the Heavenly Bridge's second level, he tried it out himself. However, he was killed in one move. Treasure Trove. Luo Feng opened the Treasure Trove folder and chose the Techniques category. Too troublesome. Luo Feng couldn't wait to search slowly. Hence, he entered the Floating Blood's name. D. On the notebook screen, the Floating Blood Manual's introduction appeared. Floating Blood Technique. 800 points to exchange for Primal Region 30% off, Absolute Beginning Region 20%, Sky and Land Region 10%. Last phase full price. Very good. Luo Feng smiled. I'll buy it. P.S. After completing 2 chapters, I feel like I've recovered. Tomato will continue to update 3 times. After all, I owe everyone 6 chapters. As for the monthly votes, let's see how Tomato performs. If he performs well, everyone will vote. Hee hee. Chapter 469. Luo Feng gently tapped in exchange for the Floating Blood Manual. Trade successful, deducting 640 points, remaining 360 points. Please wait. Someone will immediately send the manual over. A notification appeared on the screen. Unlike buying weapons and life fruits, which had to be exchanged in reality, buying manuals could be obtained directly in the virtual universe. Manuals were, after all, a form of transmission of knowledge. The virtual universe was, after all, a 100% simulation. It was the most efficient, fastest, and safest way to transmit knowledge. In reality, one still had to verify one's identity. And in the virtual universe, the entire virtual universe was under the supervision of the virtual universe system. These manuals were sold by the virtual universe system. Of course, the delivery was extremely safe. There's a call request. Babata shouted. Connect. Luo Feng's thoughts moved and a screen floated before him. On it appeared a beautiful lady. It was Yu Xiang Mountain's Absolute Beginning Region's Sector Lord Lady Fox. She smiled and said, Your Majesty Luo Feng, we've just received a manual that requires Your Majesty to receive it. All right, I'll be right there. Luo Feng smiled. It was indeed fast. To deliver the goods, in reality, just the universe flight alone would take a very long time. So, Luo Feng flew out of his villa and became a beam of light on the Dark Cloud shuttle, swiftly heading towards the building where the Absolute Beginning Region's entrance was. In a blink of an eye, he had already arrived. With a glance, he could see that Sector Lord Lady Foci was looking up and waiting. Luo Feng rushed down. Your Majesty Luo Feng. Lady Fox smiled and welcomed him. Lady Fox, where's the stuff? Luo Feng looked around. Please wait. Lady Fox looked at the building beside. At this time, a female servant ran out with a silver briefcase and respectfully handed it to Lady Fox. Your Majesty Luo Feng, this is the manual our Absolute Beginning Region just received. It's what you bought. Lady Fox handed it over. Thank you. Luo Feng received it with anticipation. Right? The manuals were very important. These few days, he had truly experienced it. Before, he had the Yin Mo Planet Inheritance and the Golden Horn Beast Inheritance. Hence, he never had to worry about the manuals. But researching the 9 Universe tablet whether it was the Yin Mo planet inheritance or the Golden Horn beast inheritance memories. They couldn't help him at all. Damn it. He had actually used up all his points in the beginning. After studying the first sword technique for more than 8 months, he had only scratched the surface. Points are very precious, and it's very difficult to earn them. The points that were given to us at the beginning are to help us build a solid foundation. Babada, it was foolish of you to tempt me to buy the secret technique. Luo Feng flew in the air above the absolute beginning region. On his way back, he spoke to Babada on his shoulder, feeling very upset. You can't blame me. Babada had an innocent look on his face. How would I know what's going on in Primal Chaos City? I only know one thing, and that is to spend points to buy techniques as soon as possible to raise your strength. Don't quibble. After this loss, if I get any precious items with unknown properties in the future, I definitely can't use them easily. Good steel should be used on the edge of the blade. The points that were given at the beginning were used to build a foundation. However, I bought a set of illusionary techniques for the Masha clansmen to use. Luo Feng shook his head. Luckily, he had passed the first level, and because it was the first time a newbie entered Primal Chaos City, in the 30 years he spent in Primal Chaos City, he received 10 times the reward for passing the Heavenly Bridge. Hence, he was able to get 1,000 points. Otherwise, if he wasn't a newbie, the first level only gave 100 points, the second 200, the third 400, it went on and on. One could see how hard it was to get points. Sitting in front of his desk, he placed his laptop to the side and placed the silver briefcase on the desk. With a clap, he opened it. Woo! Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. The briefcase was filled with many black covered books. Every book had the words 9 Universe and Floating Blood written in gold in the Universe common language. And there were also numbers. Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Book 110. There's actually 110 books. Luo Feng was a bit shocked, as the training techniques were already very profound. It would take a long time to describe them in words. Just like back when Luo Feng researched the Soul Imprint Manual, just the basic preparations before training the Soul Imprint took up an entire book. In his inherited memories, the Golden Horn beasts many techniques. Many of them in the Universe common language had tens of millions of words, or even hundreds of millions of words. Floating Blood is a basic manual. There are 110 of them. Luo Feng was excited, picking up the first book at the very top. In the middle of the black cover was the most conspicuous 2 words, Jiu. Beside it was the slightly smaller 2 words, Floating Blood. On the bottom left was the name, Lien Luo. Opening the manual, Luo Feng immediately began to read. Introduction to the 9 Universe Tablet, Space Origin Law Comprehension, The Cultivation of Floating Blood. Luo Feng looked at the table of contents and was shocked to discover that this first manual didn't even have a description of the 108 blade forms within the tens of thousands of words. Instead, the author Lien Luo described his understanding of the 9 Universe Tablet and the Space Origin Laws, as well as his own training in the Floating Blood technique. Overall, the first volume of Floating Blood could be considered as the general outline of the entire manual. Understanding his thoughts, understanding his training path, then studying the 108 blade forms will be more effective. Luo Feng began to immerse himself in reading. The universe space origin laws were vast and profound. To completely study, it was an impossible task. Just looking at the countless planets and the incalculable numbers of humans, generation after generation of birth, growth and death, generation after generation of reincarnation, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 10 million years, through trillions of years of reincarnation. In this boundless, vast star field, a universe country leader was finally born. To become a universe country leader, one had to be a time knight or space knight. From this, one could see how difficult it was to completely study and comprehend the space origin laws. The 9 Universe Primal Chaos Tablet was a supreme cultivation grandao that allowed one to become a spatial venerable. The 9 Universe Tablet was deep and profound. It corresponded to a total of 27 levels on the Heavenly Bridge. Just reaching the 21st level would allow one to become a space knight, becoming a universe country leader. And this 9-universe tablet finally reached the 27th level. If one could truly comprehend the 9-universe tablet, then one would truly stand at the pinnacle of the countless races in the vast universe. The 9-universe tablet had a total of 9 pictures. According to the first book of Floating Blood, as long as one comprehended the 7 pictures, one could become a space knight, universe country leader. The first diagram was the raindrop diagram, the second was the drizzle diagram, and the third was the rainstorm diagram. These 3 diagrams could be considered to be a deeper and more detailed study of the space origin source law. It was just like how some of the computer languages on Earth were very complicated, but if one dissected the essence, it was the binary code of 0, 1. The essence was simple. It was a binary system. Another example was Chinese. Chinese characters were very complicated, but they were square characters formed by many strokes. Those strokes and strokes were the most basic elements of Chinese characters. Another example was English. No matter how complicated it was, if one dissected it, it was formed from A, B, C, D, etc. letters. The same logic. Although the origin laws of the universe were extremely profound, some of the most fundamental things were still very simple. The first 3 diagrams dissected the origin laws of the universe, breaking them down into a total of 108 different mysteries. If the Chinese language was composed of those strokes and strokes, then the English language was composed of many letters. Then the universe origin laws were formed from the 108 most basic mysteries, constantly going through all sorts of complicated combinations, finally forming a huge origin law. The first 3 pictures were dissected to the deepest depths. The 4th was a star picture, the 5th was a star system picture, and the 6th was a galaxy picture. Whether it was the binary code, the strokes and strokes, or the simple ABCD, etc., just knowing these alone wouldn't allow one to create such a huge computer language. It wouldn't be possible to create a dreamlike internet world. It also wouldn't be possible to rely on strokes and strokes to create large amounts of Chinese characters, creating a shocking Chinese civilization. It also wouldn't be possible to rely on simple letters to create large amounts of English systems. To rely on the most basic elements to create an incredibly rich internet world, Chinese world and English world. It required large amounts of combinations, large amounts of grammar, etc. The same logic. The 108 mysteries were the most basic 108 things after the universe origin laws were dissected and broken down. The first to 3rd pictures were a type of dissection. As for the 4th to the 6th diagram, it was a combination of system, allowing these most basic elements to constantly combine and expand, gradually perfecting and expanding until finally forming the perfect universe space laws. The 7th picture, that incomparably peculiar beast, it represented the most complete universe space laws. Comprehending the first 7 pictures, one would become a space knight, becoming a universe country leader. So it's like this. Understand. Luo Feng looked at the first 2 parts of the first book, the 9-universe tablet introduction and the space origin law comprehension. He couldn't help but feel excited. Normal warriors comprehend the laws and train. It's like English, directly learning how to write English words, learning some words today, learning some tomorrow, accumulating over time. One's strength will gradually grow. However, learning without any pattern, it's ultimately complicated and inefficient. And first dissect, then combine. Just like learning the most basic letters, first learning the grammar, then following a pattern to learn words, sentences, etc. Luo Feng smiled. The logic was simple. However, the universe origin laws were trillions of times more complicated than Chinese and computer language. An undying soul calculation speed wasn't any weaker than an AI. However, there were still many who couldn't break through to become a knight in trillions of years. It was because it was too complicated. After all, this was the universe space laws. It encompassed too much. The binary system was able to form the internet world. These 108 wonders could be explained as the 108 binary system. How terrifying would the universe origin laws formed? What's more, the 108 wonders, every one of them compared to the entire Chinese, English, and computer language, were tens of millions of times larger. Much less the laws. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. Chapter 470. The floating blood technique was a technique that dissected the universe, space, origin laws, and essence, using sword techniques to form it. The floating blood first book was the general outline. Book 2, Book 109, contained 108 types of profound analysis, research, and cultivation methods. The 110th book was a summary of the 108 blade techniques. Dissecting the essence is incredibly difficult. The universe origin laws revolve in their most perfect form. As for the essence, it requires the cultivator to constantly dissect it. Even the first 3 diagrams of a 9-universe primal chaos tablet only contained 108 kinds of profoundness in 108 raindrops. I can't do such a method. I can only use blade techniques one by one to explain these 108 wonders. To comprehend them is extremely difficult. Among the 108 basic mysteries, the first 9 were the easiest, the middle 27 were the most difficult. 27 plus the first 9 formed the second picture, the drizzle picture, and the last 72 were the most difficult. These 72, combined with the first 36, formed the perfect rainstorm picture. Although the first 9 sets were the easiest, it was extremely difficult to cultivate without peerless innate talent, peerless comprehension, and peerless temperament. Back then I studied for 3,000 years in Primal Chaos City before finally creating Floating Blood. If it were in the actual universe, it would at least take tens of thousands of years. I'll give the later cultivators 2 sentences. 1. If in Primal Chaos City you train for 20 years and still haven't comprehended the first blade technique, give up on Floating Blood and slowly comprehend it like the other cultivators. This path doesn't suit you. 2. If in the actual universe you train for 200 years and still haven't comprehended the first blade technique, same as above, give up on Floating Blood. The last 2 sentences of the first book made Luo Feng crease his eyebrows. Yes, before on the balcony, he saw Yin Luo leave behind a long paragraph of words, study for 3,000 years. These words were left in Primal Chaos City. Naturally, it meant that he had studied for a full 3,000 years in Primal Chaos City before he finally succeeded. Studying in Primal Chaos City allowed one to see the universe origin laws in the sky. The efficiency was much higher. Even so, it still took so long. 20 years, Luo Feng said softly, revealing a smile. 20 years without comprehending the first blade technique, giving up on Floating Blood? Absolute talent? Extreme power of understanding, mental state. In terms of talent and comprehension, the Masha clan's clone is extremely high. In terms of temperament, maybe I'm slightly weaker than Big Brother and Second Brother, but at least I'm able to maintain a cold and calm state within my heart at all times. Luo Feng thought, talent, comprehension, temperament, these 3 can all be considered top-notch. In a vast universe, the original body of an Earthling might be considered quite talented, but it could not reach the top level that Yin Luo mentioned in the secret technique. The clone of the Masha clan, that would be powerful. This was the universe's strongest assassin clan, the darling of the universe space. In terms of talent, there wasn't a single human clan that could compare to the Masha clan in the space origin laws. The Masha clan trained in the space origin laws. They were the fastest to comprehend, and with Luo Feng's temperament. Of course, the conditions were good. Primal Chaos City. Primal Chaos energy revolved around. Within the ancient city, one of the training balconies, Luo Feng stood there, gazing at the vast expanse of Primal Chaos City. The Floating Blood secret technique starts with sword techniques, but I can quickly master sword techniques. Luo Feng pondered. Inside the first volume of the manual, there are many detailed explanations of the sword forms. Through the incomparably complex sword forms, one can gradually experience the concept and finally comprehend the concept that represents the first mystery of the sword form. Sword and blade were both close combat weapons. Sword focused more on stabbing. blade focused more on chopping. However, Luo Feng's gold shadow blade took the form of the blood shadow blade. Its entire blade was 108 centimeters long. The blade was 80 centimeters, and the blade was 3 centimeters wide. It was slightly different from the blood shadow blade he used back on Earth. Just by looking at its appearance, one could tell that it was a blade that focused more on stabbing. Many of the two-handed huge swords were even more barbaric than Luo Feng's blade. After using the gold shadow blade for a long time, it wasn't hard for him to use the sword now. In terms of close combat talent, using the sword in close combat, out of my 3 clansmen, the Masha clan is without a doubt the strongest, Luo Feng thought. Then let's begin. Luo Feng sat cross-legged and looked up at the cracks in the primal chaos sky, the crystal threads, and the revolving engravings. That feeling of wonder was intoxicating. Like the tens of thousands of warriors in primal chaos city, Luo Feng too began his meditation training. The primal chaos spirit was effective on the soul. However, it was like eating medicine. The longer it went, the worse the effects would get. Luo Feng had been killing for over 8 months. At the start, the primal chaos spirit allowed his soul to constantly evolve. However, as it evolved and grew, the effects of the primal chaos spirit decreased. Especially in the first 2 months, the improvement was almost undetectable, right? If there was no limit to the improvement, then just relying on the primal chaos spirit, one's soul could evolve to undying. It was a pity there wasn't such a good thing in this world. No wonder everyone just sits there and meditates. Only the newcomers go out of the city to kill. Actually, to many domain lords and sector lords, they're already full from absorbing the primal chaos spirit. It's no wonder there are still so many lucky survivors of the primal chaos beasts outside. Luo Feng was on the balcony, looking up at the universe origin laws revolving, carefully studying them. Within the internal world, the Masha clansman transformed into the black-clothed Luo Feng, wielding a dark red blade. This blade was made by Babata using some machines and alloys from his storage space. It didn't have any special effects, just a very normal alloy blade. Its design completely following the floating blood manual's requirements. Chi, chi, chi. Within the black-clothed Luo Feng's body, that life crystal with 10,081 sides was covered in complicated golden engravings. It glowed and produced ripples that resonated with the universe space. So, over 1,000 images appeared, the blade techniques beautiful. The Masha clansman was born to use close combat weapons, especially with the space origin laws infused with some of the sword techniques. It was even more smooth. Not right. It should be like this. Yes, very good. The black-clothed Luo Feng and his body shared the same core soul. The two naturally simultaneously observed the universe origin laws revolving within the space crack. While observing and comprehending, they used their blade techniques to compare. And Luo Feng's earth body occasionally used the 9 universe tablet to compare, occasionally going to the virtual universe to read the manuals. Time passed, day after day. Even though Luo Feng had passed the first level of the Heavenly Bridge and gained another chance to study it, he wasn't in a rush to go immediately. According to the floating blood manual, Lien Luo's instructions, he had to grasp every chance to study it well. He couldn't waste his time. He had to first completely comprehend everything from the last time, and it would be best if he continued to study and ponder. He had large amounts of questions within. Only then would he study the 9 universe tablet. As he pondered for a while, he had large amounts of questions within. Hence, it would be very easy to suddenly understand and understand a lot. This way, the efficiency was high enough after all the time he had to study the 9 universe tablet was limited. China year 2075, June 9th. Luo Feng acquired the floating blood manual and began his training in Primal Chaos City. 75 September, Gusi Luo passed the first level of the Heavenly Bridge. A few days later, Long Yin too passed the first level. 76 January, Luo Feng entered the city leader's residence and began to study the 9 universe tablet. After spending 7 days, not only did he clear up all the questions he had about the first blade technique, he also had a special feeling. The 9-universe tablet completely placed one within the space origin laws. From year 76 to year 77, Prince Wuka of the Manka planet, Qian Shui of the Genius siblings, all of the people from the absolute beginning region had passed the first level of the heavenly bridge. From the sounds of it, Wuka and Qian Shui seemed to be very slow. However, in truth, the primal universe time flowed slowly. 3 years had passed in China, but only 1 year had passed in Primal Chaos City. Hence, in truth, Wuka and Qian Shui weren't even a year behind Luo Feng. During the 2nd and 3rd years in Primal Chaos City, many geniuses from the sky and land region and last phase region began to pass the first level in large batches. This batch of 1,000 geniuses, the last one to pass the first level, was at the end of their 4th year in Primal Chaos City. Within Primal Chaos City, the other geniuses were very active at the start, all of them heading out of the city. After discovering that the effects of the Primal Chaos spirit were getting weaker and weaker, they didn't waste time killing the Primal Chaos beasts anymore. They only occasionally used the Primal Chaos beasts to test out their own comprehensions. Most of the time, they sat on the balcony. Within the actual universe, China year 2082 August, Luo Feng's eldest son Luo Ping got married and had a child in the same year. After all, in the headquarters city era, there were many 18 or 19-year-olds getting married, and this year, Luo Ping was already 22. Luo Feng was speechless. He had actually become a grandfather? 86. Earth's headquarters city began to expand, as it had been over 20 years since the swallowing beast incident. 20 years, along with the fact that the upper echelon of Earth didn't restrict the citizens from having children, they continued to encourage them to have more children. In the past, humans weren't safe, hence the more the better. As for now, Earth had begun to connect with the universe, discovering the vastness of the universe. Many races had trillions of people. Earth's population was too small. Naturally, they didn't restrict it. With Earth's rapid advancement in technology, allowing more people to eat their fill was an easy task. 88. Earth's humans occupied a larger area of land. Their advantage on land was getting stronger and stronger. In truth, the main reason was that the humans of Earth hadn't wiped out the monsters to the humans of Earth. The current monsters were the fighters' training targets. 89. Luo Feng's youngest son, Luo Hai, began to explore the universe. His eldest Luo Ping was more stable. However, Luo Hai greatly worshipped his father and wanted to explore the universe. Luo Feng had no choice but to arrange for Luo Hai to temporarily go to the Ganwu Dojo. 92. Earth's humans in the Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, and many other ocean regions, some large islands, began to build cities. This signified that the humans of Earth had finally begun to enter the ocean region. 99. Mars terraforming began. Of course, what made Luo Feng dumbfounded was, in the year 2103 of the Huaxia calendar, his grandson, who was Luo Ping, got pregnant out of wedlock and gave birth to the little fellow, was also married. My God, if this went on, he had been in Primal Chaos City for about 30 years. 100 years would have passed in the actual universe. 100 years, his own great-grandson and great-great-grandson would probably have appeared. No wonder those ancient beings that have existed for trillions of years, some of the royal families have trillions of people. This reproduction speed is indeed too fast. Luo Feng was helpless, and when 30 years had passed on Earth, only 10 years had passed in Primal Chaos City. Earth's world had changed, and in the distant ancient Primal Chaos City, Luo Feng had only sat quietly for 10 years. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Today's transition. Tomorrow the 3rd chapter will begin.